countries and return some gold to other people, other countries too. Um, and you have to, again, before you do any of this, you have to get out of the WTO, get out of the IMF, get out of NAFTA, all these agreements, because these all have clauses in them that wouldn't even allow what I'm talking about to happen.
Right.
So you have to get out of those agreements
Right,
first.
but in order for us to get to a point where we're making the decisions that we're going to get out of these agreements and shut down the Fed and do all this kind of stuff, there's a procedure that we have to come to. And the thing is, to be encouraging, is that there's millions and hundreds of millions of us, and a very, very, very small number of them.
That's right.
So now, how do we, and we have the bars, we have the prisons. How do we get them behind the prison bars and us on the outside of them? We got the bars already. You know what I mean? It's already built for us. Now, how do we just turn this thing around? There's all of us, there's a few of them.
Yeah, I know. It can't be that hard, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. But it's money in politics. I mean, honestly, that's till we get the money out of politics. I don't know. But it's also about awareness and consciousness, right. And I do feel like that is increasing. And, things just change. I mean, things can change rapidly.
Right.
You saw kind of what happened with the whole gay rights thing this last summer. Just like poof, the issue went away, and the pot issue is moving really rapidly. And then foreign policy, we got to watch this. So things can move rapidly with awareness, and awareness does affect political stuff. Even if there's only a few good people, we can still get to them, and maybe we are. I mean, at some level, even. And so I think this new internet media stuff has a pretty big impact, and it's amazing because, I mean, we didn't even have a press TV or RTV, 10 years ago. Maybe press TV actually was around 10 years ago, but
insignificant. Yeah, it was insignificant 10 years ago.
But it was, and but just 10 years ago, maybe they launched. But we don't have, so now we have that. So I mean, we have these other information sources on the internet and internationally, television station stuff, and that's all increasing the awareness. So, it's interesting times. I always say it's like a race to the finish. The bad guys they're going, for their last stand and their big war or whatever, and we're trying to stop them and just changing on a dime, and it's a race to the finish. But all I know is I'm fighting this side till it ends.
I'm fighting too, but you literally think that they're on their last stand and that they're on the run and worried about us and what we're saying tonight?
I mean, kind of, yeah, they kind of are.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I wish I thought that. I wish I did.
Yeah, I kind of do. I don't know. That's just my impression.
Now, are you one of these guys that thinks there's any difference at all between the Republican and Democratic parties, that there's a benefit to us being on the Democratic side?
Well, I mean, like I said before, the history is better on the Democrat side for sure.
Okay, but today?
Yeah, not today. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
No, look,
Hillary or Bush? If it's Hillary against Jeb Bush, do you really care?
No, that's when you get an exit plan a year ahead of time, just in case. I think you basically pick a country and you got to leave, maybe.
Yeah.
If it's that choice. I mean, if that's our choice coming out of those primaries, I mean, I think maybe everybody should have an exit strategy, because that's pretty creepy, right?
Oh, yes.
So,
let me ask you this, because it reminds me of a question, too, now, because this blows my mind. Because we saw Hugo Chavez, when he first met Obama, gives him a fist bump. So Hugo Chavez was that naive that he thought that Obama was going to be on his side and a comrade and a brother in arms? This is what he thought?
Crazy. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows, right? Yeah.
I mean, maybe Mossad killed Chavez, and who knows? I mean, I don't know. But I tell you what I gotta say, like right now, what seems to happen to me is like creeps are coming out of the closet. Like here the Saudis are today, just jumping out of the closet. Here we are. This is who we are. The British have been coming out, with their arms deals with the Ukrainian, in Kiev, and the stuff they've been doing. And the creeps are coming out of the closet. So keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled, and find out who the real creeps are now. And then we just got to, like you say, we got the numbers. We just got to, the awareness is huge. Keep talking and keep about this stuff. And that's all we can do, man. And just be ready and alert and for anything.
Okay, well, look at this. In the last election,
stay physically fit.
We had Ron Paul. Okay, I liked Ron Paul too.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. But the thing is that even though he was winning the debates, They just all they had to say was, "No, he's not."
Yeah, and then they wouldn't even allow him into the debates at the end.
Yeah, right. They didn't even let him.
When he was like the only one, it was just like, wow, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I know. So yeah, it's pretty pathetic. I mean, it's getting worse. Citizens United, and I mean, last time around, basically you had Sheldon Adelson, sponsoring Rick Santorum and some other billionaire sponsoring Newt Gingrich, and I mean, it was like almost like mi padrone, It's like, really? Oh my God, it's such a, I don't know, it's a farce.
Wait, and how many times have you heard Obama described as a Marxist, a radical, extreme left Marxist, and even Hillary's described as an extreme left My God.
Yeah, right. Could we? I know. It's like we could only hope, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, really? No, I mean, that's the biggest lie, of course, is that somehow he's this Muslim sneaky socialist or whatever. It's like, I mean, no, I mean, he's been governing from the center right, clearly.
Oh, I would say he's governing from Bush's locker room. The locker room boy
policy, same advisors. I mean, so again, we're hoping this is changing now, and we'll see. But no, up until now, he's so that's just a total lie. Of course.
I'm going to hope him.
Cold War mentality. These people just can't get over this Cold War mentality where they have to hate the communists and socialists, and
right.
They just can't get over that. They gnash their teeth about it. I guess.
I can hope that I'm going to walk into the other room, and Pam Anderson's going to be lying in my bed. Okay, so I'm going to roll all over the world, man. I don't think it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And we're the same age, so we know Pam Anderson anyways. But most people don't even know. But
it could happen. Ed.
Okay. That's another story.
Right.
But
it's just I don't know.
I know, man. Listen, but right now we have 50% of the population in the last election, right? You had 49% were all for Mitt Romney, and 51% of the people who voted, were for the socialist Obama, And meanwhile, their policies were almost identical.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
But
can't already see a dime's worth of difference.
No.
Now, the only people in the House that are pretty cool is a lot of the Black Caucus.
Yeah.
Like about
Bernie Sanders,
Sheila Lee, and Barbara Lee. I mean,
Bernie Sanders,
of course. Yeah, and and of course Cynthia McKinney before they ran her out. Yeah. But there's been a history. Ron Dellums, he was great, but and so there's a few good people, and they are all on the Democrat side, pretty much.
Okay.
I gotta say that once you get a Ron, once in a while you get a Ron Paul who, he's Republican and he's a good guy, but it just doesn't happen very often, So it's going to be the Black Caucus that's pretty cool on policy mostly, and Bernie Sanders and some white people. Sure, he's about socialist. Bernie is, of course, and great.
Ron Paul, as much as we both like him, it does seem that some kind of deal was made for his son Rand Paul to get a, I don't even know what you would call it, like a little handheld ride to the front of the Republican Party. Yeah, what the hell happened there? And why do we take this guy serious at all about anything?
I know. He ain't that like his daddy. It doesn't seem like to me. I mean,
but the daddy had to make the deal to get him up there.
I think he did too. And he almost kind of got a little quiet there and went away. I agree. And I mean, honestly, of course, I didn't agree with Ron Paul and everything. I mean, he was all, that's basically with conservatives, like real conservatives. I disagree on a couple things: healthcare and education. Where I believe the government that should be single payer. Healthcare for everybody, free. And I believe that, public education, and those guys want to privatize everything and blah, blah, blah. But other than that, we can agree on a lot of stuff with those kind of guys, the paleo conservatives, but just very few of them anymore, it seems like. I tell you, just a bunch of used car salesmen. That's all I'm seeing on that side of the aisle mostly. And it's just kind of pathetic.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It is pathetic, and it is depressing. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to have this next – I'm dreading this next election, man.
Yeah, I get it, too. I hope Sanders jumps in. He said if he does, he's going to do it on the Democrat primary, not run as an independent or a socialist or anything. He's going to actually run as a Democrat, I heard, which I think is smart because, it's take Hillary out in the primary just like Obama did, and he won it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you never know. People don't. I mean, there's a lot of people don't really like to cleanse. They know what we know. They know they're dirty. They just have a kind of a bad feeling about them. Yeah, she's a woman, but if he could get maybe Elizabeth Warren to run with him or somehow, or I don't know, do something like that. Maybe she should run. That's fine. I don't care. One of those two. Bernie could help her. I don't. It doesn't matter, right? She's pretty solid. I think. I think she's honest and.
I love her too. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't those guys get together and do something? Because we got to stop Hillary. Because otherwise it's a really depressing election. And the Republicans say, hey, it doesn't really matter, does it? Who wins? I mean, it's just you're not going to vote for that guy. So, if we're sitting here looking at Hillary versus whoever, but especially if it's Bush, I tell you, maybe it's time to check out the Ecuador and the property market.
Where would you go?
I don't know. Ecuador, maybe. I mean, that's a good country. Malaysia, there's a lot of good countries.
You want to go to Venezuela?
Maybe.
Margarita Island?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's just so many cool places. Argentina's cool. Zimbabwe's nice. There's a lot of places. But, I mean, I just hope it doesn't come to that, really, honestly. Because that's a sad day if it did. Boy, if it does, I don't know. Maybe it's over then. Or maybe we lost. If that, honestly, I think that's going to be a kind of a watershed moment if that happens. So it can't happen. So run, Bernie, run, or whatever, or Elizabeth, or somebody take him on. Cynthia McKinney, take him on.
Yeah, Cynthia, she's not going
to in the Democrat primary.
Yeah, she's not going to run again.
She's not going to.
No, she doesn't.
I kind of asked her to, and she didn't sound like it.
Yeah, but what do you call it? I've had people on here like Cindy Sheehan and Danny Sheehan, and even Chris Milligan. And I asked them the same questions I'm asking you. I says, and they kind of think still that, hey, we can vote the rascals out, and we could have a new Democratic Party again. I don't see that ever happening again.
Yeah, that's tough,
Yeah, any hope of it.
Work, Danny Sheehan. I used to work with those guys at Christic Institute way back.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, when in the late '80s, actually, when I was going to college during the time when I was protesting against Palestinian stuff, a lot at South Coast State University. I hooked up with them too, and Danny. I was meeting these mercenaries in Central America when I was traveling. Just told me stories about what the CIA was up to and stuff. So I'd send it to him and stuff.
These were right-wing mercenaries or left-wing mercenaries?
What's that?
These were right-wing mercenaries?
Yeah, definitely. CIA people that, and then they just maybe, you'd have I don't know, you just bump into them. I don't know, you get a beer or two in them and they'd start talking,
Yeah.
I just kind of listen. It's like, wow. One guy claimed the Contras got paid in heroin injections. Who knows?
Really?
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's crazy. War is crazy. I've been in a few war zones. I've never been a soldier in a war zone, but I've been in a few war zones traveling. Because when I first started traveling, I wanted to go to these places. I didn't want to just go be a stupid tourist. There's always some political thing I wanted to find out about, So I went to the Guatemalan Highlands, just check out the rebel army, try to find out what's going on there one time. Hitchhiked in on crazy stuff, but...
With your wife or by yourself?
That was before I met my wife, actually. That one. But more of that before I met her, probably. Yeah, sure. Because, be a little careful. And I'm getting older, too, so I'm going to take the bus. I hitchhike once in a while, though, still, actually.
In Missouri?
Actually, last time I hitchhiked would have been South Africa, probably.
Okay.
2009. Yeah, because I haven't hitchhiked here for a while. Luckily, my car hasn't broken down, so I'm good.
Yeah,
but I would if I had to. And I like seeing hitchhikers. It's a good sign. It's like, oh, wow, cool.
Now, living in Missouri, did you get a chance to go down and visit Ferguson?
No, never did. I had thought about kind of going up there, but I never did make it up there for that. But I'm really proud of the people there in Ferguson for standing up. And I know there's some bad apples, but by and large, man, it was, they got the whole issue of police brutality and excess military equipment and all these things out in the open, by standing up. Because unfortunately, if there wasn't buildings burning and riots, those cameras wouldn't have stuck around. And, that's just the reality. So they basically said, we're not taking this crap no more. And I support them 100% anyway.
Well, you know what, though? It seems to me that I think the initial resistance was spontaneous, and I think it was justified, 100%. Now, but then when people like Sharpton comes in, and I've known Reverend Al Sharpton for years, since I was a kid in high school, in activism in New York City, and I know all about his FBI activity. And as a matter of fact, I'm convinced that I'm on those tapes that he was walking around taping people.
You think he's worked for the FBI, Sharpton, really?
Oh, absolutely. There's documents. Look at Smoking Gun. There's no doubt about that. He was an FBI informant and went around recording people, mafia guys, all kinds of people. He was recording. He was recording everybody. As a matter of fact, it's all on Smoking Gun. They got all the documents on there.
Smoking Gun? Is that a book?
No, it's a website, thesmokinggun.com.
Oh, okay, thesmokinggun.com.
Yeah,
okay.
And they have all the documents, all the court docs. He was a witness. He was a part of a...
like I heard that one other time. Somebody said that. Mm-hmm. But I never saw that website. But I'll check it out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and I think you're right initially. And then, there's that stuff going on. And then so there's some provocateurs, in other words, what you're talking about. And there was that. But then I also think the media coverage shifted, which was interesting to me because at first the media was real sympathetic. And there was some looting that night when they were sympathetic the first time, and there was buildings on fire, and there was all that stuff, gunshots. But the media just treated it differently, and it seemed like the next time they treated it all different.
Yeah.
It was almost like, I don't know, it was almost like an intel operation that way too, like it's perception management, right? So like the word went out from whoever to all these media people, treat it like this time. And so then they sympathized. They went around interviewing all the white business owners that got burned out or whatever, which, hey, yeah, you feel bad for them. It's terrible. But it was just the way they reported it was fundamentally different. And I think that's interesting. People should think about why was it that way. But there were provocateurs as well. I agree. Whoever they were.
But even without the provocateurs, the cops, in the very beginning, the cops all day long and all night long were shooting tear gas canisters into people's houses and shooting, flashbang grenades into people's houses that were in front of those demonstrations. It's outrageous what went on down there. But the other thing, though, was my point is that how Sharpton, and I think Sharpton is an agent provocateur, absolutely, to this day, I'm convinced he is. If you look up the Village Voice series of articles on Sharpton about how his whole campaign for presidency was run by Watergate dirty tricksters.
Yeah, that's where I saw that stuff when he ran for president, because he was kind of the one that started bad-mouthing Howard Dean especially. And he was almost maybe instrumental in bringing Howard Dean down. A little bit, I mean, because of but that was that Village Voice series you're talking about where I read that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can't remember the guy's name, but he was an old Watergate hack. Roy something ran his campaign. Anyway, I know what you mean. Interesting.
Yeah, while Sharpton's sitting up in the Waldorf and then these suites and these hotels for $10,000 a night.
Exactly.
And so what do they do? They bring in the federal government. We want the feds to come in. We want the feds to come in. And then Holder does this whitewash report where you know what I'm saying? And now they can all say, hey, hands up, don't shoot was all a lie. It wasn't real. It never really happened because, they got all the witnesses in line and the, you know what I'm saying, man?
Ridiculous. Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, the whole trial was, the whole way that prosecutor handled that cop on the stand. I mean, that's not what a prosecutor does, so the whole thing was just fundamentally flawed, and I don't know if they just had a secret Masonic handshake or how it worked, but he just softballed them all these questions and, are you injured, officer? I mean, it's like, no, that's not what you do when you're a prosecutor. You try to tear people's story apart. You're representing the dead guy, you see, and he didn't. And so it was just unbelievable to me that trial was just, you couldn't even stand up. I mean, there's got to be some appeal of just the procedural aspects of that trial.
Well, no, the only alternative.
Very strange.
Yeah, the only thing we could go with after that was for the feds to come in and get a civil rights violation. Which they couldn't, which was impossible too as well. I could see that.
Yeah, now because it's not a criminal. Yeah, there's not an indictment, right?
Yeah. But now everyone says
the face. It is. Yeah, and that's why probably the cops got shot the other night. I mean,
Well, you know what?
But it's like it ain't over yet. It's like they didn't do no justice really there. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know about that either, because it seems like that shooter was shooting through the crowd of protesters, and it just happened to hit those cops on the other side.
Maybe. Yeah. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Maybe.
Yeah, we don't know anything.
We don't know, but there's definitely a lot of anger. I'm just saying, because the justice was not meted out, and so people in Ferguson are still angry. They are, and they should be. It's egregious, and it's crazy.
Well,
So I think there's an amount of backlash. Obama being the president, he's black, and I don't know. I just think it's almost like race relations. For the last 40 years, they probably did get better. And now for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, it just seems like they have gotten worse. And is it Obama just being a black president? Like just these white people tripping because we got a black president or whatever. I just can't handle it. I don't know. But there just seems to be a lot of really steps backward in the race relations department here lately. It's kind of
right.
strange. It's like, what? It's like 21st century, What?
It seems like a lot of anti-Obama is racially motivated for sure.
Yeah, maybe backlash,
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah.
Well, real quick, let me take another commercial break here, real quick. And now let me ask you a question too. Now, do you have like a headset on, or because we're getting some feedback from you as well?
I don't.
You're just on speakers, right?
Let me turn the volume down.
There you go. That would probably help. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, let me talk.
It's not too loud, but I'll try.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of feedback coming from you too.
Brother.
We'll try this thing out. Is this better, like from mine? Maybe.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, that's a lot better now. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to play some commercials. We'll be right back after this with more of Dean Henderson, the most patient guest I've ever had. Okay, and the most tolerant guest, putting up with all this technical crap. You have no idea how bad it's been tonight, guys. But I thank you all for your patience, and we'll be back with more of Dean Henderson from Dean Henderson, the Left Hook website. And now a word from our sponsors. We are listener-sponsored, and we appreciate your donations. If you like the show, please visit oppermanreport.com and click on the donate button, or you can donate directly through PayPal at oppermanreport@gmail.com. We have Mike Gray of infinityhomeplans.com. He's the host of Parlay over at CJ Mars Radio, Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need custom home designs, stock plans, or 3D work, he's your one-stop shop for home design and drafting needs. Mike Gray at infinityhomeplans.com. If you're looking for essential oils, stop by and check out Essentially Tammy on Facebook. She is Young Living Essential Oils independent distributor. Now, these are 100% therapeutic grade oils. They help support the body's natural functions. You can visit her website posted on Essentially Tammy to see the current deals, or email at JocoTammy, JocaTami @yahoo.com, or call 352-239-8546. 352-239-8546. Hey, if you need a private investigator, go to my website, emailrevealer.com. We offer asset searches, locates, skip tracing, adoption investigations, online infidelity investigations. We can recover deleted text messages from a cell phone or trace an email to online dating websites to catch people cheating. That's emailrevealer.com, or you can call 800-572-9762. 800-572-9762 for emailrevealer.com, my PI website. Pacific West Bamboo. It's your premier source for construction and craft-grade bamboo poles. They're announcing their latest project with EcoHead Event Sanitation, making bamboo composting bathrooms and porta potties. Their first display will be at the Lucidity Festival in Santa Ynez, California, April 11th to the 13th. Come by and say hi and see what you can build with bamboo. Contact them for any kind of event planning, display building. If you need construction grade or craft grade bamboo products, call Amanda at 503-839-8126, 503-839-8126, or visit PacificWestBamboo.com, their brand new website. We're also sponsored by the New World Mexican Women. This is a rural Mexican craft women's cooperative. They are traditional makers of fine handcrafted, authentic jewelry. They use beautiful stone mosaics and Pacific blue Abilene inlay. They have a wonderful book of love letters written to their men in the United States, begging them to return to their families in Mexico. But they've written a new book, and it's it's about a young girl that falls in love with a rodeo bull rider and runs off with him without telling her family. It's a beautiful love story called Azucena Part 1, Azucena to the Rodeo. You can find their books and jewelry by clicking on their banner ad at OppermanReport.com or by Googling New World Mexican Women. You can also promote your business or website right here and have your ad played all over the world 7 days a week by emailing oppermanreport@gmail.com or calling 800-572-9762. Okay, we are back with the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. Show's brought to you by Audible.com. You go to Audible Trial / Opperman Report and get yourself a free audiobook and sign up for free audiobook and all that kind of stuff too. We have with us tonight Dean Henderson from The Left Hook. That's his website, and author of about 4 or 5 different books that are on my blog, the Opperman Report blog, and also you can find the links on my website, oppermanreport.com. So, Dean, we were talking about Ferguson. Let's see, what other issues are on your mind?
Well, we've covered a lot of ground. The whole Yemen situation is definitely something to watch carefully. And I also do think that we really are on the verge of a kind of economic collapse in terms of, stock market included and deflation.
Well, give me your take on that, because I hear a lot of people saying that, and I've been hearing it for years. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, sure.
We've been hearing it since the 70s.
Yeah,
it hasn't happened. And you might even remember too all the stuff back in the 70s about Jimmy Carter and Global 2000. There's going to be this population reduction. We've heard all this before for years and years and years.
Yeah. Well, but I'd argue that it kind of is happening slowly, but it's kind of like been this slow movie because we have deindustrialized kind of this country, financialized everything, and we don't produce anything. And if you look at Detroit, it's sort of a metaphor for the whole country. It has less than half the population it used to have. Buy a house there for $5,000 because nobody wants to live there. It's just burned out ghettos, and just because manufacturing moved out. So, in a sense, I'd argue that it has been happening kind of slowly. But we are at zero interest rates now for a long time, and if the Fed was worried about inflation, we wouldn't be there. So even the Fed knows that deflation, is the one that's lurking, looming. Technology also plays a part. Technology is inherently deflationary because a lot of these jobs have been mechanized and they're just never coming back anywhere. China, India, nowhere. So the more mechanized we get, the less workers we need. So there's that. And so everything points to this long-term type deflationary trend when they finally throw in the towel and quit the quantitative easing and trying to pump up the bubble with all kinds of attempted inflation. They're trying to inflate the economy. They have to because they're worried about deflation, and it's not working. Nothing's working. So I just think we're getting to that point where nothing's working, and there's going to be a time when the gig's up, and probably it's going to be when the Fed raises interest rates later this year, like they're now signaling they're going to do. Because that's what happened in the crash of '29. The Fed raised interest rates, and boom, down she went. So, will they even be able to do it? Will they have the guts to do it at that point? After we've already lost a couple thousand points on the Dow, I don't know. I just think there's interesting times ahead that way to watch, and the Middle East thing to watch for sure. The alliance is who's the U.S. going to come out of this thing allied with? Are we going to get this Iran nuclear deal done? That's a big one. Of course, Russia. With Putin and Ukraine, there's that. There's a lot of big things, but
do you have a background in economics, like an education in that kind of thing?
Well, I do have a master's and took some economics in college and stuff. My focus is kind of political economy.
Okay.
I guess specifically, which is sort of it gets into who owns who, and it's kind of always been a refuge of leftist professors, let's say, political economy. Richard Barnett was a great one. Read some of his stuff. He was really great. But political economy, yeah, and it's interesting stuff.
Because I have no economic education at all. Okay, nothing. Just, But I did predict this housing crash that we had back in 2008.
Yeah, I kind of did too. Actually, I sold the house in 2005 because I saw it coming. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and I live here in Vegas where the properties were just doubling overnight every week. It was insane.
Please sold your house at the top. Yeah, right.
No, I was in the middle of a divorce, man. Okay.
That's great. Yeah, right. Of course.
And I lost everything.
Okay. Yeah, that was a bad wipeout in Las Vegas. It sounded like.
Yeah. Well, my economic collapse happened back in 2005.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, forced to do that. From what I hear.
But I saw this coming. I saw the just this housing craze, and I would live through one in New York back in the 80s, and I said, you know what? I don't know, man. And everyone says, no, it's not gonna. It's gonna keep going up, or they're not making more property. But I saw it coming, but I saw it coming as a grab of all, with a really rich. We're gonna come in and grab up all the property and make everybody renters.
Which is probably what happened, right?
Which is what seems to be happening. You can't even sell a house here. You can't buy a house here in Vegas right now because they're all bought for cash by really rich. And I thought it was going to be like a company like Walmart was going to come in and buy everything up.
And then the rents are going way up with that.
Rents are going up too. Yeah, it's a horrible time to live. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Housing, that's the one. I know. And again, there's big things you could do. Land reform comes to mind, but. Again, it's not even in the political lexicon.
No.
Right now, so why talk about it? Why waste my time talking about it? But it's something that's happened over centuries in many countries. Land reform, it's a good thing. We need it here. People's housing is insecure, whether they're owning or renting. Because if they're owning, they got a big payment, and it's the same as renting. Really. And
right.
we got to get people solvent on housing. The young generation it's part of the American dream. So I don't know. We got to figure it out. But it just needs to keep going down the housing market if that's going to happen, and just go back to a more normal state. It's still kind of a bubble. Probably it'll probably take another leg down. I'm guessing when this thing hits that I'm talking about, and maybe then young kids can afford it. I don't know, but it's out of control right now, and it's a symptom of this type of bifurcated economy we're talking about. The super wealthy, and again in this case, buying all the housing in Las Vegas. And then raising the rents and buying with cash that nobody else can, and this is a sign of the times. I mean, this is how it's all going down. So that's what's got to change.
The banks or the bank repos that happened out here and the short sales and stuff back to the banks, those are all sitting empty. There's a huge inventory of empty homes here in Southern Nevada.
That's crazy.
It is. Well, it's not crazy. I guess they're doing it because they're screwing us and they're getting away with it. And even you said, well, you know what? We can't even have that dialogue about land reform because no one even knows what we're talking about. And that's what I'm worried about because we have the elections coming up, and I'm dreading this, man.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. I think you're right.
Because it's the same. And now it's going to be – you can't be more in common than Bush and Carter. Not Carter, but Bush and Clinton. They're the same person, You put the dress on him and put the suit on her. No, it's the difference, But we're going to have constant 24-hour debate on Facebook and all that kind of stuff like that. And people repeating the Fox News talking points and repeating them. and who can memorize the talking points better?
Yep.
That's the debate. That's what we're going to have, man.
And it won't be a real debate at all, of course.
So how do we capture the media back? Because it seems to me that's the media that's hypnotizing people and have everybody thinking they're smart by repeating what Karl Rove told them to say the night before.
The repeaters, so I call them the repeaters.
Yeah.
I know, dude. But I think we slowly maybe are a little bit with this internet stuff, honestly. I think young kids especially, they don't watch like the nightly news of Brian Williams anymore, maybe. So us old guys, we still once in a while we'll check it out, but I don't even watch it very much anymore. I mean, I just watch RT, Press TV. I'll get my local weather, and then whatever, do my own thing, watch YouTube, or maybe I'll watch a baseball game or something. But we don't have a TV service. We just do the cable thing, and again, sticking it to the Matrix. So I don't know. Maybe it's changing.
What are you saying? You got free cable?
Yeah, free TV, not even cable, no connection. Okay. Yeah, you just got to get an HDMI cable, plug it into the back of the TV, plug it in the back of your laptop. You can stream anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's these sites you can watch any movie and any sports thing. Any game, your team, yeah, any movie. I mean, we get movies here that are just out of the box office. Yep.
Yeah, I gave up on sports. I don't watch sports anymore. I think it's too much of a distraction.
I did that for a while, but I'm bored now. Just maybe I need a distraction once in a while because usually I'm just doing this heavy politics, So sometimes it's nice to sit back and watch a basketball game or something. Chill out.
All right, then let me ask you this, because you go on a lot of these alternative radio stations, and don't you find that a lot of these stations and stuff like that, first of all, they're all right wing. I think even the alternative ones.
A lot of them are. It's sad. And sad.
And they really offer no solution. And there seems to be a thread of, well, all we need to do is raise our vibrational frequencies and meditate to thing. And
flaky new age,
right.
That flaky new age, that's the infiltration of the left that's been the most destructive kind of, maybe. It's just like this kind of new age. It's like, oh, new age, I see new world order, new age, I see. I mean, Henry Kissinger is behind the whole damn thing, according to the first issue of New Age magazine. I've seen the copy where it's like inside it says published by the Grand Freemason Lodge of Washington, D.C., right on the issue.
Get out of here.
No, check it out. So it's all, and he's behind it. It's all this kind of, it's the new world religion, kind of.
Yeah.
It's really kind of crippled the left. It's like almost lefties in America. They're into that crap. I'm a pagan dude or whatever. But they're not into like revolutionary politics.
Yeah.
Like, let's see, if we can overthrow government in Central America for the poor people. They don't care about that, which is actually what left means. So I always argue that there is no left in America virtually. Because it's been washed out by this politically correct stuff and this new age kind of infiltration. It's creepy.
Yeah, you don't have to argue with me, man. I totally agree with you. There's no left in this country at all.
There's no left in this country.
Not even close, man.
But
it's and you know what, man? And then you get two leftists in the room together. All we do is fight with each other and argue. We can't agree on anything
that's
either.
Rap. Yeah, that's the rap. But we're doing pretty good. But
I know.
But that's true because they're idealists, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know. But I don't know. I try not to also be dogmatic. I think that helps because I'm kind of a bridge. I think between some of these right wingers somehow.
Yeah, I hear you.
Us, because but I tell it straight, and I think I teach them things hopefully, and I don't mince words. I don't lie. I tell them exactly what I think. But I think I've influenced some of these people a little bit maybe by being that way. And again, it's like preaching to the choir. I got tired of preaching to the choir. We lived in Missoula, Montana, for a while. I got my master's there, and it's college town, and pretty progressive. But after a while, it's like you're preaching to the choir. Get out of Dodge, move to the Missouri Ozarks, it's kind of Baptist, Republican haven, Okay, here I am.
Yeah, you got to wonder how the Republicans took over Christianity too. How they
right, exactly. I mean, Pentecostals and too many Catholics were calling themselves socialists, so they dumped them, and the liberation theology thing just freaked them out. So they all over Central America, even they kind of, I think the CIA backed a lot of that, and the Mossad actually, this Pentecostal thing. I swear to God, someday we're going to find a connection where it's actually funded by the intelligence agency. Some of these wigged out Pentecostal churches, man.
Yeah,
they're so right wing. And,
I'm Pentecostal. I'm
Israel, right? And just crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, forget
it's that. Like move to Israel, man. I'm tired of hearing about it. If you love them so much, move to Israel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and even the Bible says that there were certain times that God turned his back on Israel. There's no doubt about that. It's for bad behavior. Right. So wouldn't you call like arresting all these?
Never have their own country and things like that. Yeah, and even Orthodox Jews, talk about that.
Right.
They're against Israel too. They know that. Yeah. So it's not a Jewish thing. It's just an Israeli Zionist thing, and that's important, I think. There's a bunch of creeps in this world, and all this religion is just like Mark said, it's opiate to the people. It just mixes everything up. It's like the Saudi and the Israelis. I mean, there's not a dime's worth of difference in their role in the Middle East and a neo-colonial strategy for the City of London Wall Street bankers. There's not a dime's worth of difference, and yet because one is a Muslim so-called country and one is a Jewish so-called country, we're led to believe for 30 years or whatever, despite the evidence. Because, the Saudis funded the Contras, the Israelis trained them. The Saudis funded the Mujahideen, the Israelis trained them. Along with the CIA, along with some British intel guys, whoever. but yeah, of course, and it's just like there's continuity. It's these are the facts, and yet we're taught that somehow Israel and Saudi Arabia are these enemies of each other, and it's just like I say, creeps are coming out of the closet. People are going to relearn history a little bit here, in a good way, I think, because I do think it's a sign of desperation. I really do. I think there's some major cogs about to give, and I don't know how it's all coming down, but the dollar is going to quit being the global currency. I think one way or the other, and that's just going to have huge implications right there. So I think it's a good transition, but hold on for the ride and hope that at least Obama and people around him have the sense to sort of navigate it and pick the right side to come down on, which will be being friends with Iran, and then we just get oil from them. And it'd be like $20 a barrel, $1 a gallon here and stuff, because they had a lot of oil in Iran. And Venezuela, be friends with Venezuela, be friends with Indonesia, Nigeria, But the British, I think it's just like I'll tell people, it's not it wasn't the Muslims we fought during the Revolutionary War, man. It was the British. Just don't ever forget that.
But real quick, I was going to ask you, are you an atheist?
No, I guess I'm more of a animist, Learned a lot from just native people, and so
Okay.
I'm like that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm more of an animist. I mean, I believe there's God, definitely. God, just a good force. Call it what you want, whatever works for you. Otherwise, like, what about you, man? Are you an atheist, or are you?
No, I'm a Christian. I'm a Pentecostal Christian, as a matter of fact.
You are Pentecostal.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I'm born
Look at
again.
that. So there's a bunch of good Pentecostals. Seriously.
Dude, there are.
I get that. Yeah. No, yeah.
They're not all like that crazy.
Jeez, nothing personal.
No, I don't take it.
Like, hey, I mean, that's like, what's the guy who, Jim Commonweal, the guy that puts out Commonweal. He's kind of evangelical Christian, but he's a lefty.
Yeah.
Jim Wallace, is it? Have we got that?
No, I'm not familiar with who you're talking about. No, but there's, in the church, there's a lot of leftists and a lot of socialists. It's just in the,
I wouldn't even know, really, I guess.
The ones on TV is the ones that are
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Right way, yeah.
Of course, I know. That's right. And it's perception management. It's really key. And that's what they're good at. And they've gotten really good at it, unfortunately. But perception management. So, but yeah, I suppose, Ed, I probably should run. I got to get ready for
Nancy here. Is there anything you want to promote before you go?
No, I just really appreciate you having me. And I mean, if people, I do a weekly column. It's just HendersonLeftHook.wordpress.com. Like Ed said, just Google my name, Dean Henderson, and you get there. And you can subscribe free to that. Just click the little subscribe button in the upper right. And so if you want to get my weekly column in your inbox, and all my books are there. You can also just go to Amazon and Google put my name in the Amazon search engine. You'll see all my books on Amazon. And again, thanks for having me, Ed. And good luck with everything.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for being so patient and understanding with all the trouble we had tonight.
No sweat.
Have a good night, brother. Okay.
You too. Take care.
Good night. Okay, that was Dean Henderson from HendersonLeftHook.wordpress.com. But like you said, you just go to Dean Henderson Left Hook. You put in Dean Henderson Left Hook, it'll come right up. And I got a link to all of his books on my blog, the Opperman Report. Big Oil and Their Bankers in the Persian Gulf, 4 Horsemen, 8 Families, and Their Global Intelligence, Narcotics, and Terror Networks. The Grateful and Rich, Revolution in 50 Countries. Sticking It to the Matrix, The Federal Reserve Cartel. And all these 4 books you can find there on the Opperman Report blog. Tonight was a complete disaster, technically, guys. We pretty much lost all the stations, but we're live on Spreaker now. It'd be interesting to see how many people even know we're live on Spreaker. I know we get some an email goes out. But this podcast, we'll edit it, all the troubles out, and it'll go on all the network of stations that cover the podcast, the repeats that we play throughout the week. But let's take a little commercial break. We'll take callers after this, 702-605-4894, or you can Skype me at ed.opperman, but the number is 702-605-4894. And now a word from our sponsors. We are listener-sponsored, and we appreciate your donations. If you like the show, please visit oppermanreport.com and click on the donate button, or you can donate directly through PayPal at oppermanreport@gmail.com. We have Mike Gray of infinityhomeplans.com. He's the host of Parlay over at CJ Mars Radio, Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need custom home designs, stock plans, or 3D work, he's your one-stop shop for home design and drafting needs. Mike Gray at infinityhomeplans.com. If you're looking for essential oils, stop by and check out Essentially Tammy on Facebook. She is the Young Living Essential Oils independent distributor. Now, these are 100% therapeutic. Yeah. You can visit her website posted on Essentially Tammy to see the current deals, or email at jocotami, JOCATAMI @yahoo.com, or call 352-239-8546. 352-239-8546. Hey, if you need a private investigator, go to my website, emailrevealer.com. We offer asset searches, locates, skip tracing, adoption investigations, online infidelity investigations. We can recover deleted text messages from a cell phone or trace an email to online dating websites to catch people cheating. That's emailrevealer.com, or you can call 800-572-9762. 800-572-9762 or emailrevealer.com, my PI website. Pacific West Bamboo. It's a premier source for construction and craft-grade bamboo poles. They're announcing their latest project with EcoHead Event Sanitation, making bamboo composting bathrooms and porta-potties. Their first display will be at the Lucidity Festival in Santa Ynez, California, April 11th to the 13th.
Hello.
Say hi, you got 30 seconds with bamboo.
Okay.
Contact them for any kind of event planning, display building. If you need construction grade or craft grade bamboo products, call Amanda at 503.
What are you drinking?
839-8126.
What is that?
503-839-8126. Or visit PacificWestBamboo.com, their brand new website. We're also sponsored by the New World Mexican Women. This is a rural Mexican craft women's cooperative.
I'm glad you're having fun.
They are traditional makers of fine handcrafted, authentic jewelry. They use beautiful stone mosaics and Pacific blue Abilene inlay. They have a wonderful book of love letters written to their men in the United States, begging them to return to their families in Mexico. But they've written a new book, and it's it's about a young girl that falls in love with a rodeo bull rider and runs off with him without telling her family. It's a beautiful love story called Azucena Part 1, Azucena to the Rodeo. You can find their books and jewelry by clicking on their banner ad at oppermanreport.com or by Googling New World Mexican Women. You can also promote your business or website right here and have your ad played all over the world 7 days a week by emailing oppermanreport@gmail.com or calling 800-572-9762. Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report after show. I am your miserable host, private investigator at Opperman. Tonight's show is brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/Opperman Report. Go there, sign up for free, get a free book. Okay? And we're here tonight with a disastrous show, really. It's probably one of the worst disasters we've ever had as far as being live on the air. We lost half the stations. But we are, with our little Spreaker group, we got a couple of people in our Spreaker chat room. We got Jessica Smith and we got F. Scott Phillips. How long we're going to go on tonight? We're going to go on, I can actually go on for about another hour if I want. Before Spreaker, we run out of our time on Spreaker. So if anybody wants to call in, we got a call from the wonderful Mike Gray from Parlay.
Hello.
One of the hottest new shows to hit the airwaves. And
hi.
How's it going, Mike? How are you?
Oh, pretty good. You know, I was trying to find you. Let me lower my volume here.
Yeah, lower your volume, Mike.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Give me a headache.
I was trying to find you going from station to station. I was like, what's going on, you know? And Ann told me that there was a problem with the just some problems with Sam, I guess.
Well, it's supposedly the problem is bandwidth. We don't have enough bandwidth, but we had plenty last week. I don't know.
Okay.
And I couldn't connect this week, so who knows? And just when, wouldn't you know it? This is just when the ratings are coming out for this quarter on TalkStream Live.
Oh, my goodness.
I think they might have come out tonight.
Yeah. You think it might have been your guess, too, that they were trying to sabotage?
No. I do not think even 1 second that people knew enough who my guest was to sabotage him.
It's you, Ed.
No.
They're after you.
And I think you're after me, man. The only the number.
What are you talking about?
The number is 702-605-4894. That's 702-605-4894.
Ed, can I mention something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bob Marley. Did you ever hear how Bob Marley, his wife, said he died?
Yeah, I know exactly how he died.
How?
Nicole Simpson's neighbor was the son of the CIA director.
They gave him a boot, right, or a pair of boots?
He went over there. He was also a film director, and he was also the guy hiding in the closet when she made that phone call and OJ was flipping out. And
You're kidding?
No, he was the guy hiding in the closet. And
what was he doing in the closet?
Good question. I don't know.
Was he having an affair with Nicole or sleeping?
I don't know about that. But OJ was running. That's the 911 call.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you know what you did when he was screaming at her about what he did in front of the kids?
That was about Keith Zalamovich.
Oh.
Different guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But what do you call it? Also, too, when he testified and his wife testified, they were the only people that testified in shadow without giving their names or anything like that on TV. the CIA guy. And he went to visit Bob Marley with a film crew because he's a film producer, so-called. And he gave him a cowboy boot. Stuck his foot in the boot, and he felt a pinch. There was a needle in there. And then, lo and behold, he got cancer.
A copper wire. There was some kind of...
Yeah.
They described like a long copper wire with a pointed end. And, he got cancer in his foot or just in his body?
I think it was brain cancer that killed him.
Wow.
Yeah, but...
So, obviously, I mean, to my mind, there was something on the tip of that needle or,
But then again, I think there would be a million ways to get to Bob Marley and kill him, without going to all his shenanigans and, But who knows?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to make some announcements. Oh, we got good old Mike Ray on the line. I want to thank JP for helping out. He's foreverbeyondradio.com. Really tried to help out tonight and get our stuff back on the air. I don't know what happened, but like I said, I don't think it's the NSA. I don't think it's the CIA. I think it's people sabotaging us that we know personally. You can find the show archives up on Opperman Report YouTube channel, Spreaker.com, and iHeart.com. And also, too, try and subscribe to us on YouTube. The more subscribers we have there, and then you get a notification of a new show coming up. There's a lot of content I do during the week. So we get paid by YouTube. We're a YouTube partner. So the more views on YouTube and the more stuff like that's a big help to us. We also appreciate your donations and sponsorships. If you have a business or a website you want promoted, contact me at oppermanreport@gmail.com. Believe it or not, guys, the ratings are going out tonight. Tonight we're not on the air. The ratings went out on TalkStream Live. So, we'll find out. Either we'll be in the top 50 or the top 100 or whatever, or we're just getting screwed. You can also make donations. oppermanreport@gmail.com. Let's see. Coming up, we're doing some off-the-air shows. I'm producing some shows that we're recording during the week. Some big stuff. We're doing a whole bunch of shows, interviews about Ted Gunderson. I'm going to interview everybody who ever knew Ted Gunderson that I can find. And we did a show already about the 1979 school shooting in San Diego that inspired the song I Don't Like Mondays. We have that in the can. It's up on Spreaker. You can't listen to it because we're saving it. Also had a great interview with this woman named Kelly Beninsky, who fascinating stuff, man, about how her childhood friend, killed this woman and ate part of her body. And this is an incredible story. Guy. Oh,
why'd she do that?
He was a Satanist.
Oh, it was a guy who killed a woman.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was a girl who killed another girl. Okay.
He lived in a garage with no bathroom, with no kitchen, no nothing, no stove. He lured this woman into his garage, killed her. His parents were in the house. And he dragged his body out to the backyard, dismembered it, started cooking it up in the barbecue pit in the backyard. The parents were in the house, never charged.
The parents were never charged?
Parents were never charged.
Well, they didn't know, right?
How could they not know?
Oh, my God.
How could they? Mike, how could they? He had no bathroom. He had no kitchen. How do you wash his hands? He had to walk through the house to wash his hands. This went on all day long and all night. This was going on. So,
well, maybe he only took a piece of her, and you're saying he took the whole body
in buckets and stuff. You got to hear this story, man.
Oh, wow.
And then also too, she knew Richard Ramirez. She was big friends with Richard Ramirez, and also to Drew Peterson. We're joined by a 509. Who's this?
This is Jessica Smith.
Jessica Smith, is that your real name?
It is. Yes, it is.
And that's not your real picture, though, right?
Well, it isn't. She's one of my heroes.
Who is
Ann
it?
Esther.
Ann Esther.
It's Ann Esther. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now listen, Ed. I wanted to talk about this plane crash. Okay.
Okay.
Now I noticed some things. Because I never look at TV, but I'm always looking at the news and I compare different articles, et cetera, et cetera. Something really interesting struck my mind. One of which, you see the picture of the so-called pilot who lost his mind and supposedly crashed it in the mountain.
Yeah.
You see this picture of him running, jogging, like in maybe a marathon, something. Now think back years ago to that supposed British agent who was found locked in a suitcase in his bathtub. Do you remember that story, Ed?
No, Mike, do you?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so, there was a secret agent who was found locked in his own suitcase in his bathtub in his house, and nobody can figure out how it happened. It was a huge story.
What they call it, a suicide, right?
Wait, they found him alive or dead?
Dead. He had been dead.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was an agent. They admitted that, M15, whatever term is used for that. Well, what's really interesting is the pictures were so similar. The pictures of him that they splashed all over media was one of him jogging in this marathon. It just struck me. It's just so similar, so weird, I don't know.
I hear
that
you.
whole thing. If you don't know the story, I'm sure you've heard of it because it was on, and I follow even lots of British news. It was on The Guardian and The Mail, and it was just so bizarre. They still have never solved it. He couldn't have put himself in the suitcase. Oh, no, Ed, they said he did put himself in the suitcase.
Of course.
You know what?
They did. They said that he put himself in the suitcase as a autoerotic type thing. No.
They always say that, right?
Yeah, and there was a small surveillance video of a couple of people that they couldn't identify. It's just bizarre. I don't know what to think about this whole plane crash. And another thing, Spain and Germany, I think it was, Spain and France, that day they were in the middle of a summit, exactly the same time that this plane crash happened.
A lot of people are speculating that because Germany is siding with Russia on Ukraine and not going along with NATO, that this was kind of a warning to Germany. And that it was a laser beam or some type of a thing that blew the plane out of the air because it clearly didn't hit the mountain. It exploded in midair and then all the debris hit the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just using
on the mountain.
Yeah, they're just saying this guy did it as an excuse. I don't buy it for one at all.
Well, wait a second. There's another theory floating around that it was a malfunction in the air. And Lufthansa is about to build a lot of planes. They have a big contract to build planes, so they're covering that up by saying that it was this suicide hijacking, which does sound a little bizarre because this kind of thing never happened before.
Lufthansa, that is one of the safest airlines out there.
Well, it's not so safe if they can let one pilot sitting there, lock the door, and keep everybody else out. What if he had a heart attack?
And apparently there was an axe. I'm telling you right now, I can axe my way through anything in 8 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Me, a woman. You can't axe through a small door that's, I mean, what's it made out of? It can't be that heavy of metal. It can't be that heavy because planes are designed to be light, right?
It's aluminum
Any
on
grown
the inside.
man, if they had an axe, could axe through that. I'm certain of it. And with adrenaline, I could have done it. Anyone could have done it, you know?
Well, too bad you weren't on the plane. You could have
Yeah.
saved those
Well,
things.
I'm just saying hypothetically, you have,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, if you use reason and common sense, I think it stinks. I don't think it's, I just think, and now also there was a really interesting guest on John B. Wells' show. She was an airline hostess or
Attendant.
you're not supposed to call them stewardess, whatever they
Flight
are,
attendant.
right? And she was just talking about how every single plane has a mechanism that can be, you can remote control the plane. Every single plane, in case of a 9/11 style attack. In that instance, all communication is broke off with all towers. You can't even make an SOS call. Once that system is hijacked or taken over, when all of the flight, you know, controls are taken over, you can't even SOS out. And that really stuck in my mind because I just listened to that interview the other day. It's just so interesting, you know, with all this heavy international stuff going on. You know, is it Russia? Was it our CIA trying to, who knows, you know? You just don't know.
Well, it could have just been a plane crash that's being covered up. And it also could have been, like they say, a guy committed suicide and killed all those people. You know, so we can't rule out any of these things until we know more. You know, and have to give it some time because what happens is with these stories, people just jump. You know, right away, jump. You know, to
Right.
everything. Who knows?
Looks fishy
Well,
to me.
I
Ed.
know the reason I jump is because, first of all, like I said, I don't watch TV anymore. We don't watch it in our house. And so I'm looking at things a little bit differently. I'm reading different articles, different spins. A lot of it is the same, obviously. And I'm just not going to go along with what they say anymore. I'm going to try to analyze it. I'm going to try to use some reason, some logic, and say, well, wait a minute, this happened. Just like I mentioned earlier with the door. The door cannot be that heavy because of the way that a plane is designed to be light. You think you could have went through it with an axe. Apparently, the pilot who was trying to get back in had an axe.
Well,
You know, just small things like that.
in the old days, those doors were really flimsy. I don't know. I haven't seen one lately, but after 9/11, I know they reinforced all those doors. You can't just go busting in and stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an axe,
maybe.
of course, you know, you're confident you can get through any door with an axe. I'm not that confident that I could do it. There's a lot of doors I can't get through with an axe, even because you think it's a big axe. It might just be a little axe. We don't know.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
So
I don't know. I just don't trust anything anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't. And I don't think everything is a conspiracy theory.
Well, how
but
did they know the pilot? Wait a minute. How did they know the pilot was on the other side, trapped outside
because they have the voice recording, they heard that.
in the black box?
Yeah.
Well, apparently part of the recording, the small memory card is missing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. How do they know? I don't know.
That's
I just
what
don't
they're
believe
telling
any
us.
of it anymore. And you know, what about this missing plane? Where's that missing plane? Who took it?
Okay, I confess, I have it.
Well, no, think about it. We've got some real dirty stuff going on. Geopolitically, we have different factions fighting for whatever, and of course our CIA and our secret stuff that we have on in this country. Dirty, dirty, dirty. You just don't know, you know, and I don't put it past them. I don't put anything past them.
Well, they've given up looking for that plane.
Yeah, I think it
Garcia.
landed.
It is a
Yeah,
little weird.
maybe.
That, you know, what I find, and you know me, I try and be cautious about this kind of stuff. But that first Malaysian plane that disappeared, all the families were screaming and yelling, "Oh, it's our family! Tell us what's going on!" And then the second one that crashed, you know, or whatever, you have a funeral where everyone's sitting on a stage, all calm and relaxed. You know, like, okay, you know, what's going on? I found that a little odd.
Okay, now remember when the Kursk went down The Russian sub, the Kursk.
Like in the 50s or 60s?
No. This was the Kursk, where it was only in like 100 feet of water or 200 feet of water, and the Danes said, "Hey, we have a thing. We could go and rescue those sailors that are trapped in that sub.
Yes,
if there are any survivors."
I remember
because
that.
they were tapping. They had hammers and they were tapping the hull to signal, "Hey, we're alive, right?"
What year was
And the Russians said, "You can't go near that sub." Okay. One of the mothers was in the audience and addressing Putin when Putin was talking. She got so hysterical. Somebody had a syringe and poked her with the syringe and knocked her out. Remember that?
I don't. But I remember that story, but I don't remember that mother story.
Yeah, all the relatives of the sailors were trapped on that boat. They were screaming at Putin in the press conference there, okay, in Russia. Do something. Why aren't you doing anything? You know you could go get them. There are other people that are saying that they could help. The Danish said the Dutch had the equipment to go in and get them, or they even try. And this lady was so hysterical. A guy was behind her with a syringe, and you see him. He goes right up to her, jabs her in the neck, and she just goes down. See, that's a real relative.
Right.
Fighting for their loved one, acting normal.
Right.
With passion.
In New York City, at the September 11th hearings, in New York City, the ones about the fire department and stuff like that, those were interrupted constantly by family members jumping up screaming. And
that's right.
Over and over. You don't even see the videos of that. Is any of that stuff on you?
Not at Sandy Hook, though, huh?
Right, exactly. Yeah, this Sandy Hook thing, wow. It's just almost so horrifying that you don't... The initial shock of that was so horrifying to me. I'm a mother. I've got 3 children. It was literally a psyop right into my heart and soul. It's something that you can't really shake, and everything thereafter was so hard to take apart and to believe one way or another, because the initial shock was so big on my heart, and I have to say that is, I guess, the nature of a real psyop, is that it's just right straight to your heart as a human being and as a mom or a dad or whatever. That was a good one, and I really think Sandy Hook was real fishy. Now, Ed Opperman, didn't you have Wolfgang Halbig on your show?
Nope. That was Mike Gray.
Oh, you did? Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. What do you think of that guy? I think he's highly credible.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. I think the points that he raises are really, really valid.
Someone posted on my Facebook today to pray for Wolfgang Halbig. Something's going on with him?
I don't know.
Well, he's under... he's going to go up to Connecticut and have what do you call it? Where they put people under oath?
A deposition?
A deposition, yeah. He's going to put some of the family members and the state troopers under deposition, so they have to go on record and swear under oath.
They're voluntarily doing this, or he has some kind of litigation?
No, I don't know. How do you do it? How do you get someone when...
Well, you'd have to have litigation, then you subpoena them to come, and then you have to file a motion for a deposition.
Yeah, I guess that's what he did. I don't know.
Well, what's his litigation?
I don't know. I didn't get into that aspect with them.
Well, they can voluntarily do a deposition, I guess. Yeah, they can voluntarily. Yeah.
Well, I know that he said over and over in different interviews, if I can get these people in court, we can try to get down to the bottom of it. He was trying to get Freedom of Information Act requests through that were denied, and different statements from the United Way and probably other little city councils or whatever. And so he would say, if I can get him in court, then I can get to the truth of basic things like the security, where were the cameras, or things like that. I think he's doing this step by step and trying to dismantle the lies, the small lies in a court of law. Kind of that's the only way I think he thinks that he can get to the truth of it all. That's my understanding.
Well, if you want to say the name Victoria Soto, you better use it up, because her family's about to trademark her name. Now,
was she a victim of the
she was
so-called
the teacher.
victim?
Yeah, she was the this first teacher that died, and her name means victory. Victoria means victory, and Soto means small wood or groves. So her name means victory in the groves.
Well,
that's weird.
Back to the Freedom of Information Act. It's not unusual for your first couple of FOIA requests to be denied. Especially if you don't know what you're doing, you have a really hard time. It's something you have to really learn and know how to do. And there's services out that'll help you do it. And even they get denied the first couple of times. It's really, really, it's unusual for that stuff to be complied with the first few times.
I wouldn't know. I've never done it.
Oh, yeah, I've done it plenty of times.
Well, in any case, they didn't spray too much today where I live. I don't know if you guys are aware of the chemtrails, but they're pretty evident. What do y'all think of that?
Well, yeah, in Vegas, you get them a lot, don't you, Ed?
Yeah, we used to get them back in Staten Island, too. No one believed me back in those days. Vegas, we get them a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Every time I watch the show Pawn Stars, what's that show? Pawn Stars?
Yeah.
And they do an outside scene, you always see them in the sky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember when we were first talking about that back in, I guess it was like in 89, 90, about those chemtrails. My buddy called me up one day because we were saying, hey, what the heck is going on with this? No one was talking about it on TV or anything back in those days, at the internet. And he goes, he calls me up and he goes, Ed, go outside and look up. And there was a big giant X right over my house. Okay. And I said, oh, no. So then,
well, you know why they X things too?
Why?
Because there's multiple programs in there. But you'll see a plane go, and it'll go one way, and then it'll come back, and it'll X marks the spot.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for vortexes in the sky.
Okay, you don't know that. No, we have no idea why they do chemtrails.
Okay. Well, I've heard that. I've heard something similar to that.
Okay, but where's
the evidence? I've heard also that they're trying to kind of gauge the way the wind is blowing, and at a certain point. So I guess maybe vortexes or something can be described like that, vortexes. But they're trying to gauge where things are going, I think, is what I've heard. There's also Looney Tunes on YouTube that say X is over their house, but that's not the case. I don't believe.
No.
But I think it is some sort of measurement, I would think, if you use reasoning and kind of...
And those planes are either at 6,000 feet or they're at like 45,000 feet, 50,000 feet. They're either really low, and the thing about those planes, they don't make a sound.
Right.
I'll tell you this.
That's the weird thing about those planes. They're dead silent.
Okay, I'll say this too. The flight pattern here in Vegas is really, really simple. Okay, they all come in one way and they go out the same way. Okay, and these contrails, chemtrails, whatever they are, they're all over the place in every different direction going. And there's X's and I've seen grids, all kinds of stuff like that. But now the thing is, though, I'll agree that there's something going on up there. But there's no way that anybody can say they know what they are and what the reason is. There's no way.
Well, it's geoengineering, number one. That's a fact.
How is it a fact?
Well, now wait a minute. Let's ask that question on a real deep level, because I've asked it. Why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Why are they really doing this? Okay. Geoengineering, of course. Now we have the far extreme on one side saying that they're trying to block something from our view, whether it be another planet, okay, which I don't buy into. I don't.
Well, it could be anything they want to block from our view. It doesn't have to be another
planet. Now, listen, but I think this is what's going to happen, because it's so evident, and more people have woken up to that. The chemtrails, like, wow, yeah, there's really marks in the sky. They're really doing this. I think they're going to say, we've been doing this for your own good for all these years. They're going to finally, because this climate change thing is ramping up, man. It's ramping up, and of course you're bad human. So I think they're going to say here soon, whoever they are, their plan is to say, we've been doing this all this time to block out the solar heat or whatever. That's going to be their excuse. And so all the greenies or whatever you want to call them, whatever they are going to be, oh yes, Yes, that's good. Thank you, dear leaders, and yes, please spray our skies some more. You know,
Okay,
you got to
Jessica.
kind of try to think a few steps ahead, and that's what I think they're going.
Jessica, let me ask you a question. What other instance can you ever tell me where the government has some kind of secret project going on that they then reveal to us with a fake information, and we all said thank you, thank you?
Probably all of them.
Name one.
Probably anything. 9/11.
Wait.
At first, 9/11 was a huge psyop, huge program. We all wanted every Muslim dead, so dead that yes, go to Iraq. You know, yes, go to Afghanistan, even though every hijacker was supposedly from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, Jessica, but you're saying that the government's admitted that 9/11 was a big fraud, and now we're thanking them for that?
No, they haven't admitted it, but that's just a case of how the public was so easily rallied with something so huge, a lie that was so giant.
But my point is, you said that they're going to come out and say, this is the reason we've been doing these chemtrails in secret for all these years, and this is the reason why it's really a good thing for you.
Right.
Whenever they ever said to us, hey, we've been doing this thing in secret for years and years, but it's really a good thing for you, and now we're telling you what we're doing.
Okay, well, vaccinations, maybe.
But
in a way, I mean, it might be a little different, but... I mean, you know, we all know there's cancer viruses in some of the vaccines. Who knows? The psyop there is huge.
Wait, here's
like
a fact.
measles.
They're putting barium salt and aluminum in the spray. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
How is that a fact?
Well, they measure it, Ed.
Well, because aluminum levels are spiking all over the country and all over the world.
But we don't know that it's from.
Yes, Ed. It's admitted. I'll send you the paperwork. They call it as geoengineering, and that's how they're controlling the weather and steering storms.
Admitted by. Admitted by who?
They're putting aluminum
Ed, see,
particulates.
The thing is, just because the government doesn't admit it doesn't mean that there's real science behind these things that people are putting out there, and not real scientists that are working on it, because there is. There is real, actual, intellectual scientists, people that you can... I get, would be on par with the government.
Well, you got a phone number for one of these guys? I'd like to talk to them.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. But they are saying...
Well, the father of it is Livingston, a guy named Livingston, and he's the one who was responsible for making it rain in Vietnam, like 8 feet of rain.
Exactly.
I understand about weather control, okay? And I totally believe that. All I'm saying is, okay, there's a couple of things here. Because you see a lot of people that say, oh, they're spraying chemtrails over my head, and now my sinuses are acting up, and I'm getting this. It takes a long, long time, okay, for anything sprayed that high up in the air to come down to the ground level.
But some of it's not that high, Ed.
No,
but Ed, at 6,000 feet, Ed, at 6,000 feet, okay, they spray. First, they do a grid, right? They go back and forth, and it's not just one plane; it's multiple planes. They're KC-143 planes. They're the size of not a 747, let's say a 737 or 757, okay? And there are these big vats in them. They just go back and forth, and they turn a blue sky white, okay? And by the next day, if you go outside, there's a white film all over the ground.
Oh my God!
Why are you laughing?
I've never seen a white film on the ground.
Oh a white, a real light powder. It's so light.
Oh my God! There's no white powder on the ground when you wake up.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I've seen it multiple times when I had my townhouse.
Well, Ed, what's your opinion? What are they spraying? Are they spraying, and what are they spraying, and why? Okay. What's your opinion?
It would just be my opinion because we don't know.
Well, I know, but as far as you deducing from whatever you've ever learned, and even in your wildest imagination, what do you think? Why would they do it?
Okay, see, that's another question. See, I do have a wild imagination, and I imagine different things, okay? But what can I report? My whole life is about observing and reporting facts that I can come up with facts, I do in my work as a private investigator. I do it here on the radio show. What do I know that I can report to you? I can look up in the sky, and I see that there's obviously something odd there. Because when I was a child, we didn't have those things up in the sky. And then there was even, I can remember there was a TV thing about how regular plane contrails they turned into clouds and then caused weather modifications. But now, obviously, there's stuff up there that's not normal. There's X's, there's grids.
Like thunder, lightning.
One second. All kinds of weird stuff. Now, I know for a fact, okay, that if I look up at the sky, I'm no scientist, and I see contrail grids way, way up in the sky, that they're not down here on the ground affecting what I'm breathing. It takes a long time for that up there to get down here, okay? And it's going to dissipate. It's going to blow to other areas. A cloud, before it comes down to the earth and rain, is going to blow over the mountains in a whole other area. So this idea that it's coming down and affecting my sinuses the next day, that's all people's imaginations, in my opinion. Why could they be doing this? I think before, and what's in how can we measure what's in these contrails without flying up there and capturing it somehow in a helicopter or something, or a balloon? I guess you would do it. See, I live my life. Okay, I do studies. I do scientific experiments where we capture, we document things and we create an exhibit you used in court. So let's do that now. Why can't we do that? Why can't we have someone put a balloon up there, capture this material, bring it back down, and analyze it? None of that.
I'm sure it's been done. Hey, have you seen that documentary? Why in the world are they spraying? Or
what in the world?
What in the world are they spraying? Yeah. Have you seen that yet, Ed?
Yeah, and I'm not convinced by anything in those documentaries.
Well, now listen. If there's higher readings of these certain chemicals, metals, where are they coming from? We know that there's higher levels of these things.
How do we know?
They got to fall somewhere. They're falling down. It might even with your theory, it might take however many days, but it falls somewhere.
Yeah,
and
wherever the wind blew it to, far away.
Well, so what do you think? As far as skipping the factual part, in your mind, why are they doing it?
Okay, it could be a million reasons. It could be they don't want us to see things up in the sky.
Uh-huh.
It could be some kind of to keep the sun rays from giving us skin cancer or whatever.
Right.
But or it could just be, who knows? We don't know. We don't know what they're doing up there. They could be flying back and forth doing great. It could be involved with the radar or something like that. It's something that we don't know about. To block Soviet satellites. It could be a million things.
But it's worldwide.
Right.
Worldwide.
I'll tell you something else too. I'll tell you something. Okay. No, okay. Well, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. You guys are telling me that it's geoengineering because they're doing this what is your idea that they're doing this to us for? To give us
it's not just one thing.
Okay.
It's to control. It's to
the vortexes.
Control the weather.
Control the weather.
Yeah, to check for vortexes.
Vortexes. Got to find those vortexes.
They're spraying. They're spraying viruses on the. They're spraying a concoction of viruses on the populace.
Okay, then let me tell you what I can testify to you. Okay, I know someone that was on a cruise ship. Okay, and they saw these contrails over their head in the cruise ship. Now you're telling me that they chartered contrails to poison these people over this cruise ship?
No.
In the middle of the ocean?
No.
A contrail, you say, or a chemtrail?
Ed.
There's a difference between a contrail and a chemtrail. A contrail dissipates within seconds.
Also remember that cruise ships always stay relatively close to a coastline. Also, there's weather patterns that will blow any chemical or metal or anything, virus, whatever they're spraying, to a landmass or to a whatever. So, they're working with currents that they know about, just like I know about, because I look at the radar and the weather patterns and the, Pineapple Express, this is coming up towards my area. They know this too. It's, like you said, it takes a while for things to come down. Well, they're manipulated in the same way. They spray it in a certain spot in order for it to migrate to another spot. Remember that. Now, let me give you my opinion. First of all, I'm really, really mad. I don't like to be sprayed. We're being sprayed like bugs. That's my first thought. Like, stop spraying me. I want to see a beautiful blue sky, puffy clouds, and a yellow sun. I don't want it milky and gross. How dare you spray my sky, first of all. Second of all, it is definitely weather manipulation, and I think it's private companies, and I think that they are causing drought in some areas. rain in some areas. Let's go real deep here. We can cause, a lot of torment and upheaval if we have huge weather systems go through the tornado alley and make these gigantic tornadoes that are just, 1,000 miles long with, 57 tornadoes or something. And I think that's what's happening. I really do.
Imagine if you could steer a hurricane and increase it.
And they do.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about weather control. They've been talking about that since the 50s and 60s. That's not an issue. And this could be weather control, but we don't know. No one knows.
And it could be warfare. It could be weather warfare.
You guys can go to, it's on YouTube, Nicholson 1968, or just punch up, It's Not Pixie Dust Goofy. It's chemtrails. And there's a whole 1959 Disney film on weather it's amazing, weather modification and how they were planning on doing it. 1959, a Walt Disney film.
Yeah, weather control's been around a long time.
Yeah, there's actually a treaty in the UN that no nation is allowed to. That's what's weird.
Well, no nation is allowed to do it to a foreign nation. It doesn't say that no nation is not allowed to do it.
No, they're not. You're not allowed
nation.
to. No, you're not allowed to do any weather. It's a treaty in the UN where weather modification is outlawed.
To other nations, but not to your own nation.
To yours too.
I didn't hear that. I never heard that. But really, let's get down to the real boots on the ground. I live out in the country. We have our own gardens. We have our own vegetables, and we grow a little bit of something else. And we can tell from year to year the difference as far as like when the spray load is real heavy, 4 days out of 5, the difference in our harvests, the difference in the way that our plants look, it's really obvious as far as crops go. I'm kind of small scale, but still, it's kind of a measuring point there,
That's why Monsanto made those new seeds, the genetically modified seeds, because the new seeds are more adaptable in a high aluminum soil. See?
I do see. I sure do.
Listen. Oh, brother.
Ed, your default is to just laugh.
No, not that.
Yeah, it is. Your default is like...
I've never laughed like that
If you
before.
never heard of it, it must be,
just
crazy.
Ed, I know that you're a Christian.
You're right.
And one thing I have a hard time with Christians is, of course, I'm the crazy one, okay? Always. But you have to remember there's a satanic plot against you and against this whole entire planet. And when you really look at things like that, when you just don't think that the evil could be that deep, or it could be that organized, you have to remember that of course it is.
No, I'm not saying that.
Of course it is.
But what I'm saying is that we don't know, and to say that that's why Monsanto we don't have any evidence of that. What study do you have? What evidence do you have of that, Mike? That you can show me? Listen, Jessica, you're telling me I don't understand about evil in the world and what I face every single day? Of course I do.
What it is I know that in the beginning of my journey, my big thing was I couldn't understand how deep the evil went. That was my whole problem. Oh, no, they would never do that. They're not organized enough.
No, I'm not saying that they would never do that, but I'm saying we can't just say this is what their vortexes. There's no evidence of this kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know about vortexes, but I know that they're literally spraying us like bugs. That's
what we can,
right there is enough of, wait a minute, what about my rights as a human being? What about everybody's right as a human being to not be sprayed like a bug?
There's three of us here on the phone, okay, and we have eyewitness testimony that we can look up in the sky and see odd trails, okay, contrails, chemtrails, or whatever you want to call them, that are odd or unusual than what we saw when we were little kids. That we know something's up. There's X's, there's grid patterns, there's all kind of weird stuff that don't match the flight patterns. That we can all agree on. Now, none of us here have any kind of evidence whatsoever of what's in these, in the aluminum content. We have no idea. We're relying on other people that have not published anything. They have YouTube videos, and they're doing TV.
Well, maybe they've published. I just can't say whether or not they have.
Let's see it. If they have, let's see it.
But then Ed, is it okay? What is it? What's your opinion? Like, what is it? Is it okay in your mind?
No, it's not
okay.
Do
you think it could be a positive thing? It can't be a positive thing.
I'm not saying it's a positive thing. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm saying
Hey, Jessica, could you please tell Ed I don't know you? Because he might think I put you up to this.
No, no, I don't. No, I don't know
I know
you.
who Jessica is. I know who Jessica is.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I know everything, Mike. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
No, I'm just a Facebook friend of that. I heard him on Caravan to Midnight with John Wells, I think the first time, and ever since then, I've been a fan. I've just been following him and decided to call in on another Friday night. That's all. I don't know anybody.
No, great. I appreciate the calls. But don't think for a minute that I don't believe in evil and all that kind of stuff like that. But I'm saying that we need if we're going to talk, we have to base our opinions on some kind of facts. You know, we can't just say.
Can I just ask you something?
Go ahead.
Have you ever heard of snow lightning?
No, I have not. No.
In the wintertime, I'm 43 years old. I've never in my life seen it lightning when there was a snowstorm in winter.
Okay.
Or
I
hear
think
a
I might
thunder.
have seen that. Okay. I have seen that.
When? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was... I know you can have that effect at a volcano when a volcano goes off. And, you know, you get lightning and thunder. But not in the middle of winter when there's a snowstorm in the north.
I believe I've seen it.
Well, I don't know, because that phenomenon has been happening for the last 3 years. And the weathermen, the meteorologists are like, what?
Yeah.
They're just calling it like snow lightning or snow thunder. And they have no explanation for it. You know,
well,
something new.
Probably a couple of weeks ago, we had a really weird anomaly. You know those hole punch-looking clouds that have been showing up every now and then, but just very recently?
Yeah.
We had two big streaks. It even made the national news. It made British news, okay, over our area. And all the meteorologists, these were contrails. The planes are flying too low, but they were two perfect streaks. It was bizarre. So my sister is Facebook friends with one of the retired weathermen here in this area. He was a weatherman for years and years and years and years. And, of course, my sister, she's big mouth. She's so awesome. But anyway, she's the chemtrail girl on Facebook, and she asked him, she said, his name, I'm not going to say his name, I don't want to embarrass him, but she asked him, what are these? And he came back and said, well, that is definitely man-made. There's nothing natural about that. Don't let anybody, and this was on Facebook, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people saw this. So there's meteorologists who are coming forward and saying, wait a minute, I've been doing this for 45 years. I have never in my life seen this. It's not natural. It's not a brand new phenomenon. No matter what name they give it, it is unnatural. It's happening. I saw it happen in my area just 2 weeks ago. You know, they're doing something, and they're spraying us, the whole entire world, and I don't like it. I don't want them to do it anymore. I want a blue sky, you know.
One of the best websites is a meteorologist or former meteorologist. His name is Scott Stevens, weatherwars.com, I believe. You just punch in Scott Stevens, chemtrails, and, you know, I think it's weatherwars.com. Really, I mean, he's got pictures, and he has a breakdown of what chemtrails are. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
Well, anyway, Ed, I don't want to upset you. I understand what you're saying. I really do. You want the facts. You want the evidence. And I do, too. For criminy sakes, I do, too. I want to know exactly what is going on. All I can do is speculate because there's no disclosure, and that infuriates me because I feel like I'm being attacked. I feel like my family's being attacked. All the wildlife, my garden, my vegetables, everything I grow is being attacked. Do I send my kids out in the pool on a really heavy spray day, or do I not? You know, we don't know. And that's infuriating, and I feel like it's violating my rights as a human being, as an American, you know.
Well,
but I want to know.
But there's so much of our rights that are being violated every day. Why is this?
Right, and that's just one of them. It's like it's piling on. You're right, Ed. And look, the police, you know how I feel about police brutality. I called in a few weeks ago and just had to go on and on and on about it. You know, I have a personal story, and it's sick. You want to hear it about some cops? You want me to tell you about it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Now, I've always been a pretty good girl. Now, I was a single mother, and I lived down in this place, this real trendy, cool place downtown, or just left of downtown, called Brown's Addition. It was where all the old mansions were when the city was founded. I had this little apartment, and there was a little scuffle at my house, and one of my neighbors called the police. The police show up. They separate me and all my girlfriends. It's just a drunken 22-year-old nothing, you know. One cop puts me in the bathroom with him and starts flirting. He has me sitting down on my own toilet, flirting with me. It got so absurd that I'm like, let me out. I'm like pushing on him. Oh, funny. So apparently the other girls said that the other cops were totally weird too. Whatever, end of story. 2 nights later, 2:30 in the morning, I get a knock on the door. I look through my peephole, and it's one of the officers. So, of course, I open up the door. I'm like, oh, what's going on? This cop proceeds to come in to my house, and...
In uniform?
Yes, in the middle of the night, and he knows I'm a single mom. He knows I'm there alone with my baby. Well, she was a little toddler at that point. He pushes me up against the wall. He pulls forward my nightgown to look down my nightgown, smells my neck. Okay, the whole time I'm fast talking. I go and sit down on my lazy boy chair. Just sit down. He comes, sits on the arm of it, puts his leg on me, comes close, rubs my hair, smells me again. The whole time I'm panicking. Like, I know he can put drugs on my floor and take away my child. He could beat me up, kill me. What is going on, you know? He finally snapped out of it. He had a wedding ring on. And I said, I bet your wife worries about what you do in the middle of the night. That's all I said. He, like, snapped out of it and finally left. I was terrified. Then for weeks and weeks, he would drive by. I would see him. He would start a shift, I think, about 3, because right around 4 in the afternoon, there he goes, driving by. Well, sure as shit. Oh, goodness, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, Ed.
That's good.
Sure enough, he's on the news about 6 months ago. Very similar complaints, but he had actually brutalized a woman over and over and over. Held something over her head. I don't know what it was, because the news doesn't say, you know, what it was. But would always threaten to arrest her if she didn't come along or do what he wanted or whatever. Sure enough. And so ever since then, I have a realistic view of what's going on here, you know. Like that pig, and he's still in the forest. He hasn't retired yet. These are still allegations, and of course there's going to be a big inquiry, and who knows if he'll ever be held accountable, you know. And I tried to anonymously call my ombudsman. We have a police ombudsman. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to give my name, because I don't want any funny business, you know. And, of course, they failed, never got back to me. They're probably overworked, you know. But the corruption is deep, and it's disgusting, you know. It really is. And that brings me back to the point of, you know, how this whole divide and conquer thing, I know that black people probably have gotten the real icky end of the stick as far as this goes. But I just wish that we would unite as Americans and as, you know what, we live here all together. We can't allow this to happen to any citizen in our nation. I mean, let alone the world, it shouldn't happen. But this brutality cannot happen to any of us. I think if we get to that spot, then it won't only be black people throwing fits. White people will learn to throw the fit, too. And we can actually conquer this. It's like, I so love the spirit of these black people who will try to stand up. They're the only ones who will march, Ed. They're the only ones who will get up and pitch a fit when it's needed.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Great. They go out there in March, and what do they get? They get a federal investigation, and Holder comes in and issues a report saying, oh, yeah, the guy's guilty. And now they can use that against us. And also, too, wait a second. That same demographic that has the balls to march, which I appreciate because they get beaten down by cops a lot more than white people do. But that same bunch, man, who have the balls to march, okay, and know that the deck is rigged against them. They're down there in Florida over Zimmerman, marching and begging to have their right of self-defense taken away.
I know. That's all part of the design.
Right.
That's slice and dice, divide us, conquer, blame it on something that isn't really the problem. It's like a false flag, you know. We all have to stand up as one unit, one American. We are American citizens, and you are not allowed to do this to any American citizen, period. You know, we are so put in these little boxes. You're black. You're Latino, you're a woman, you're gay, you're whatever. And so therefore every day we're confronted with the decision. Are we for the gay person or are we for the black person? Are we for the cops or are we for the black guy? Well, it's all by design. Jessica. It's all through media. It's all 100% funded by evil intentions.
Let me ask you a question, Jessica. What about the possibility? Because you tell me, Ed, can't you imagine this possibility and that possibility, right? And Mike, you say the same thing, right? What about the possibility that the reason for these chemtrails is just to have us all running around in circles, worried about it, looking up at the sky, rather than joining together and resisting against this kind of oppression that we live under every day?
So, like, they're putting some sort of medication in the chemtrails? Or?
No. They create all kinds of crazy conspiracy theories for people to be worried about.
I'm sorry, brother, but there is no theory in the fact that they're spraying us. That's a fact.
Okay. But,
that's the way I feel about it.
No.
Now, some people might be able
Jessica,
to...
we can agree that they're spraying, okay? Now, I'm saying that the reason, maybe, one possibility, and this is just an equal possibility as all you guys' theories tonight. My theory is just as good as yours. And this is a theory that maybe the reason they do the spraying is so that we can all be looking up at the sky and talking, debating the chemtrails and contrails. Is there aluminum in it? Are they doing this? What's the reason why they're doing it? So that we're not getting off our asses and doing something about the people, the things.
No.
That are right.
You want to know why I don't think that? Yeah. Because I don't think enough people even understand or realize that there's chemtrails.
But the kind of people...
I don't think enough people even realize. They don't even look up. They don't know.
No, but the people who... I'm getting feedback from one of you guys. What is that?
Not me.
Okay.
I don't think it's me.
Now, but the people who kind of do realize, hey, something's amiss, something's not right, it's kind of not right for the 6 members of the Walmart family to own half the wealth of the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we can agree on that. It's kind of not right for, a kid to walk down the street in Ferguson and get shot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
He's unarmed, So, but rather than focusing on that, part of what they're conditioning is to say, okay, let's spray some. All we got to do is fly some planes back and forth over their heads, and they're going to be looking up at that all the time and coming up and worrying about that all the time.
Yeah, but Ed, the point is they're coming at us 1,001 different ways,
right.
A million different ways. That you see what I'm saying?
I see.
It's not just one assault. So it's taking away our rights. It's chemtrails. It's fluoride in the water. It's putting antibiotics in our food. And putting,
it's limiting language, what you can and cannot say.
Bisphenol A, political correctness.
Between a female, male, gay, straight,
right.
Black, white, Hispanic. They're slicing and dicing us. It is an attack, so you're isolated. So you be more easily conquered. Period. You have to rise above it and see it. You have to see it. And that's what is happening. I agree.
Okay.
But the good news is, I don't think it's working.
Yeah, everyone says that. The good news. Yeah, there's no good news.
I don't know.
It's
Because I see a lot of lost people.
It's working pretty damn good because right now there's 6 members of the Walmart family that own the whole freaking country, and no one's doing a damn thing about it. There's 6 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it goes way deeper than that, Ed.
There's 3 of us on the phone.
Commission that dictates all our policy.
Yeah.
On a global scale. Sorry, it's true. It's huge. It's global, and it's all about power and greed.
You gonna go another hour?
Are we all done? Is our time up?
No, we have more time. I may not live another hour. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. If you want me to hang up, Ed, I'll get off the phone.
I don't want you to hang up. Okay. Listen, we had a really rough night tonight and it's not because of the NSA or the CIA or the FBI. It's because of people I know. Okay, trying to sabotage what we're doing here. Okay.
People you know who work for the CIA and NSA.
Who is it? Who did it?
But the point is that, and the show sucked tonight. You know, the show was a big mess today. You know,
that guy was good.
Dean Henderson's a great guest, but Mike. I spent the whole show looking at dials and numbers and.
Okay,
shit.
But the point is, Ed, that was a good guest, and the show wasn't. The show was good.
I got stuff
you
on.
You just had some technical. You're so negative, man. You had
I know, Mike.
Issues.
I'm sorry. I'm so negative that 5 minutes that during my show, Mike's sending me SoundCloud stuff on Facebook. All right, I'm so negative, right? You're sending me stuff during the middle of the show. What are you sending me? Mixed SoundCloud widget. What is this thing?
Wait, that's my show. 10 minutes before the show, I sent it at 7:50, not 7:50.
Whatever you said, big stupid heart with parlay on it. I like the logo, man. I love you, Mike. I really do. And Jessica, I love you too.
Oh, Ed, you're my favorite.
Thank you.
You really are. You're on to something. I know you're struggling. You just keep marching forward because.
Jessica, I have no choice. Okay.
You've got this personality, and you've got, like you said, you want the facts. You want evidence. I think it's great. You've got a great thing.
Because what you got to understand is, because you both have to understand this, okay? And I really want you to hear this, is that a couple of years ago, I was right where you are, okay? And someone must be verifying this information. Boy, I'm listening to this show on Friday nights. Oh, boy, I trust this person. They're really cool. I've met these people. They're full of shit, okay? I've met a lot of these people that you guys are basing your information on. They're nuts. They're full of crap. They're frauds. They're hoaxes. I contact them and says, listen, you're about to have a guest on your show. Here's the proof. The guy's lying to you. He's making this up, okay? Here's an email from the guy admitting that he's making it up.
Who is it? Who are you talking about?
They put him on anyway. Listen, I'm not here to get into wars with everybody, okay? Because
you
want to know what? I got enough wars. I got wars with these people without mentioning their names, okay? Trying to sabotage this show week after week after week. There's a reason why we didn't get on tonight. Are you kidding me? It's no joke, And they're trying to sabotage what we're doing here because I'm pretty much. I'm not making any money from that. I'm not doing seminars and going on tours and let's have a cruise. I'm not doing any of that crap. I'm not. See, a lot of these people you listen to on these hosts, okay, on these stations, they are putting out information out there that is so extreme, okay, and such bull crap that they're creating a funnel because they want the most gullible people out there coming into their little funnel.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is it the hosts themselves that are putting out the info, or is it guests that they're having on? Is it the guests?
Guests?
It's just like, hey, look, open forum, say your piece, and what is it?
There is a frequent flyer number of guests that are full of crap, that everybody knows they're full of crap. The host knows they're full of crap, and they're all in cahoots with each other and kind of wink at each other. Hey, we're all kind of full of crap, and we're fooling these gullible suckers out there. Any skepticism you have about what you hear on these shows, double down that skepticism and then double down again, okay?
Yeah.
Because so much of it is crap. They lie about their credentials. They lie and openly lie about their stuff. And I go to people like David Icke. I says, hey, man, look, this guy's full of crap. He's lying about his credentials. Forget it. They put him back on. They don't care. Okay? So a lot of these people out there that you think are truthers and out here to help you and stuff like that, it's a bunch of crap. So when I hear...
Ed, I know personally, I always try to use common sense.
Well, me too.
I look, and I don't, like I said, I don't look at TV. So I have that whole brainwashing isn't even a part of my world. Now, I do read a lot of articles, a lot of books, different authors, but you can kind of see through the bull, in my opinion. Because if it's too far out, if it doesn't match what I'm looking at, what I can actually see...
we're in trouble now. Ann wants to come on. Okay.
I hope she doesn't yell at me because
okay,
I just can't take it anymore.
Be quiet. Shh. And Francis, my producer, is coming on, joining us. I love you.
Please don't yell at me.
Mike's worried I'm going to yell at him.
You're going to yell at all of us. We're all
I'm
trying.
not yelling.
Be good.
It's all good.
He did it.
Hi, Ann. How are ya?
Ann has Ann has a new man in her life. I'm out of her life now. She has a... is it a man or a woman who has your attention now, Ann?
Oh, there's 4 of them.
Oh.
4 women?
No, I'm horse sitting.
Oh, how nice.
Oh,
Taking care of some horses. I don't have all her attention like I used to. You know what? Before Ann comes on, let's play some ads real quick. Okay, make some money because I got these sponsors. Annoy the hell out of me like this guy at infinityhomeplans.com. By the way, everyone should know that Mike Gray is the owner of infinityhomeplans.com. Your source for 3D and 2D digital drafting products. Let me play the ads and then we'll be right back after this. Don't talk, guys, because they can hear it. And now a word from our sponsors. We are listener-sponsored, and we appreciate your donations. If you like the show, please visit oppermanreport.com and click on the donate button. Or you can donate directly through PayPal at oppermanreport@gmail.com. We have Mike Gray of infinityhomeplans.com. He's the host of Parlay over at CJ Mars Radio, Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need custom home designs, stock plans, or 3D work, he's your one-stop shop for home design and drafting needs. Mike Gray at infinityhomeplans.com. If you're looking for essential oils, stop by and check out Essentially Tammy on Facebook. She is the Young Living Essential Oils independent distributor. Now, these are 100% therapeutic grade oils. They help support the body's natural functions. You can visit her website posted on Essentially Tammy to see the current deals, or email at JockoTammy, JOCATAMI @yahoo.com, or call 352-239-8546. 352-239-8546. Hey, if you need a private investigator, go to my website, emailrevealer.com. We offer asset searches, locates, skip tracing, adoption investigations, online infidelity investigations. We can recover deleted text messages from a cell phone or trace an email to online dating websites to catch people cheating. That's emailrevealer.com, or you can call 800-572-9762. 800-572-9762 for emailrevealer.com, my PI website. Pacific West Bamboo. It's your premier source for construction and craft-grade bamboo poles. They're announcing their latest project with EcoHead Event Sanitation, making bamboo composting bathrooms and porta potties. Their first display will be at the Lucidity Festival in Santa Ynez, California, April 11th to the 13th. Come by and say hi and see what you can build with bamboo. Contact them for any kind of event planning, display building. If you need construction grade or craft grade bamboo products, call Amanda at 503-839-8126, 503-839-8126, or visit PacificWestBamboo.com, their brand new website. We're also sponsored by the New World Mexican Women. This is a rural Mexican craft women's cooperative. They are traditional makers of fine handcrafted, authentic jewelry. They use beautiful stone mosaics and Pacific blue Abilene inlay. They have a wonderful book of love letters written to their men in the United States, begging them to return to their families in Mexico. But they've written a new book, and it's called, it's about a young girl that falls in love with a rodeo bull rider and runs off with him without telling her family. It's a beautiful love story called Azukina Part 1, Azukina to the Rodeo. You can find their books and jewelry by clicking on their banner ad at OppermanReport.com or by Googling New World Mexican Women. You can also promote your business or website right here and have your ad played all over the world 7 days a week by emailing oppermanreport@gmail.com or calling 800-572-9762. Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. Oh my God, brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/Opperman Report. Sign up for free, get a free audiobook. Then go to your gun store, come here and put me out of my misery, okay? I can't take any more of this. This is great.
Hi, Ed.
There's a guy out in front of my house beeping the horn. I don't know what the hell's going on. Some kind of a fight going on outside. Someone's posting porn on my Facebook page. I got people sending me links for upcoming guests, all kinds of crazy. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. Well, it's a nice porn. I should save that. I'm gonna see what's going on. All right, we're here with.
Did your friend do that?
She's somebody new. I just met her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a feeling she was for trouble.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Send me that link.
Yeah, remove tag. I blocked her. I don't know how she's still on there. Anyway, guys, so we're joined by Ann Francis, our super producer, Mohammed Yulali.
That's an old name. I
Yeah,
haven't heard that in a while.
it's like the second week. Yeah,
That's when she was running with that ex guy. It's a joke.
Huh?
that's a.
Malcolm X.
Okay.
I couldn't remember Malcolm X.
But and we have Jessica Smith and we have Mike Gray from InfinityHomeplans.com. Hey, Jessica, you want to plug anything? We lost you?
Yeah, I think. Is she on?
Oh, no, she's gone. Yeah, she's gone. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So, Ann, what did you want to come and join us with?
Nothing specific. I mean, you were heading down the road of where you and I were. I mean, we were both there about 2 years ago.
Right.
And what we're listening to and what we were skeptical about and who these people were.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The truth always comes out. It always comes out.
It says in the Bible, if you have a secret, shout it from the rooftop because everything done in darkness comes to light.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what we found is that, we were talking about is that a lot of these people you hear on these shows and stuff like that are full of crap. And they're all in cahoots with each other, too. So there's like a bunch of them. And we're not in that club for sure, you know? So that's where we are.
I'm not.
No, you're not, no.
But I mean, there are a lot of people that and I'll name names if you want.
Nah, let's not name names.
Yeah, let's not name names. Who I think is full
as it
crap,
is, you know?
Huh?
We have headaches already.
Yeah, right. A lot of just a lot of people on C2C that same old. But
No, we're not even talking about coast to coast. We're talking about the people in this alternative media, people that are friends of ours, that we can't even mention their names, that are full of crap, and do we want to be those guys that are out there saying, oh, everyone, this guy, exposing people and all over the place? Well, it's a headache, and even though we're not doing that, we're still getting crap and we're getting messed with. I'm getting sad.
Yeah, you haven't really picked a fight with anybody, you know? They seem to be.
No.
We're not
We don't have time.
Yeah,
Seriously.
because we're being
And
sabotaged.
Christoph is getting...
It's funny
getting
because
some
I'm looking
creepy
at
lady.
Anne's portrait when she talks, and the horse lights up a little bit. So it's like the horse is talking.
She has a horse on her thing?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I see the old face. I see the regular thing on Skype.
No, I have a horse up there.
You gotta rub it in, huh?
It's like the horse is talking to me. That's weird.
Hey, Mr. Ed.
This?
right?
Oh,
brother.
horses. Oh, no singing. No singing. Ed doesn't like that.
Hey, did you... Cut it out. Hey, did you know that they said that the guy who wrote that song about Mr. Ed, they say if you play that song backwards, it says the source is Satan. The source is Satan.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then the reason why the horse can talk is because of Satan. And also, too, the guy who wrote the song has some kind of connections to Jack Parsons and stuff.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding you.
You know they say that if you play whale, like you know how whales sing or whales talk, that they'll say praise Lucifer backwards.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Oh, that's what they say.
Really, I think you can find whatever you're looking for if you really go looking for it.
Well, I mean, you got to admit, when you play Stairway to Heaven backwards, it's pretty clear. You know, Led Zeppelin.
After they tell you what to listen for.
Right.
Well, Yes We Can is
when
Obama says Yes We Can. It's praise
Satan. I think you
Satan.
can find something satanic in Ave Maria if you play it backwards and listen properly at the right speed. You know, there's like, you can do any, it's kind of like a study. Whoever funds a study has a stake in it, right?
I agree with
Right.
that.
How come they never told me to go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac and those backward,
See?
Yeah, there's probably
more
more of
and I
that.
bet you there's somebody out there that probably has found that. It's just,
right.
Well, guys, I was debating with the founders of reverse speech, good old John David Oates. I spent a lot of time negotiating with this guy and talking to him. And I said to him back then, I said, listen, we have speech-to-text technology. Why can't you just play this backwards through the computer, and it'll type it out with what they hear?
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
No, because there's metaphors, and you have to hear it. Blah, blah, blah. So no one hears anything until one person hears it and tells everybody to listen for it. Then you hear it.
Right.
And I'll tell you something else, too. It makes you go crazy. When you
I'll admit, when they play a lot of stuff backwards, I can't even...
No one can hear it.
Yeah. But sometimes it's clear, okay? It's not always clear.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's stuff in there. Look, none of this changes my daily life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I told, we talked last time about this, and my life is still the same. I still watch movies. I still listen to music. I still do, this does not affect me. I'm aware of everything. And it's kind of like once you know, you can't unknow and you can't ignore it. But you can recognize it, deal with it, and move on. It does not slow me down one bit. It does not I don't allow myself to get caught up in it and take away from my normal life. I can't. My life is my life, and that's my war. They can't take that away from me.
Yeah, and a lot
I'm
of
still
stuff
going to enjoy my,
a lot of the stuff they're throwing at us, I think, is
life.
a distraction to take our focus away from the world of
Right.
slaves.
I believe that too. I think a lot of this is a lot of these things are very much a huge distraction because they've got everybody looking down. Metaphorically, obviously. They're too busy, nitpicking their screen apart at this picture, instead of looking at, the walls are really caving in. So I don't participate.
Hey,
don't allow it to happen.
You see Harry Reid is resigning?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Now, he still has a pretty bad black eye, and how come that's not healing?
Well, he's old. Probably has
What
diabetes.
happened to him?
Well, who
I
knows?
didn't hear this story. I heard
And isn't
he
this
got a black
his second?
eye, but-
Isn't this his second black eye?
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, it seems like it's been because it happened on New Year's Day.
Is his wife abusing him or something?
Not his wife. Well, you know the story about Harry Reid is that Jack Gordon, who was LaToya Jackson's husband, and he was like this famous pimp, and he had his massage parlors. All his partners died over and over and over again. He went into partnership with Jack Gordon. He wound up dead, and big guest on Howard Stern all the time.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you call it?
You mean Harry Reid went into partnership with Jack Gordon?
Jack
and then
Gordon paid him a bribe, and Harry Reid didn't do what he wanted him to do, and Jack Gordon placed a bomb on Harry Reid's wife's car and blew the car up.
Oh my! You're really?
Yes, and never got convicted for it, never got arrested for it, nothing.
It's like a scene straight out of Casino.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how this guy has survived all the crap he's done.
Well, he lives in Searchlight too, by the way. You guys got Searchlight's a tiny little town. How this guy came out of Searchlight. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from here. The only reason to go there is to go fishing. There's all trailers and stuff. There's nothing there. I think they got a little casino, but otherwise, there's no reason to go there. This guy came out of there and became one of the most powerful senators in history. The heck's going on there?
Well, he sounded juiced up. I mean, if you believe the casino line, I mean, he was juiced in, right?
Well, once you get on the
he worked with the mob.
Oh yeah, once you get on the Nevada gaming, everyone here works with the mob. They still do.
Well, now, do you think he was beaten up?
Right.
Had to have been. What else? Come on.
Yeah, but for why?
I don't know.
What do you do?
Work, whatever the reason
for
was.
being him.
Yeah.
I mean,
God, I wish I was there to see it. Oh, I would have loved to have been there. Oh my God.
So, Mike, you're one of these guys. You think there's a difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
No.
It's like wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. You say that. You win this, I win that, and it's just like, they give us the illusion that there's going to be hope and change, and it's really just the 3-card Monty. Like what do you call it? 3-card Monty. Or what's that game? Where they shuffle everything around.
3-card Monty.
Yeah, 3-card Monty. There you go.
So, Ann, we made it up to number 8 on TalkStream Live today.
That I saw, you may have gone higher, considering you weren't on. It's gonna annoy somebody.
Yeah. What a disaster.
And I didn't post or anything because, I mean, you weren't on.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Ed. If that crap happens, forget it. Just do the
guess
interview.
what, Ed? I'm going to interview Cindy Jean-Pierre on my show about how TalkStream Live is a fraud.
Oh, God. Don't mention my name.
She's got the lowdown.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
How does she know?
She said, she was telling me, maybe I shouldn't say this, but
Yeah,
that,
not on my show. Let's not talk about this on my show.
Yeah, let's. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do it on my show because I don't.
Got enough problems.
I don't want to mess anything for Ed.
Thank you.
Too late. Sorry, Ed.
It's okay.
We had a good day relatively. Well, I did, and then I sit down to do this, and it's like everything went sideways.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Everything worked fine last week. The settings were exactly the same, and suddenly now this week I don't have a bandwidth to get on. That auto DJ keeps coming on. Seems odd to me.
Well,
we gotta.
Thank goodness you had that host stuck around. Your guest, I should say, stuck around. He could have bailed.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have them back and do another, midweek review. Hey, Mike, people are asking about your show. Plug your show. When is it?
It's parlay on CJ Mars at Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Who's your next guest?
Eastern, right?
I don't have anyone lined up yet, so I'm not sure. But last night was the big Sandy Hook show with Wolfgang Halbig. I sent it to you so you can listen. With Wolfgang Halbig and James Tracy.
Did you do an after show? How did that go?
No. We did a late show call-in show.
Thank you.
It's not called the after show.
There you go.
Only Ed has the after show. That's
right.
his domain.
I made it up. I invented
Made it up. Howard Stern has the wrap-up
The
show.
late
Ed
show.
has the after show,
There
and I
you
have
go.
the late
That's
show,
right.
call-in show.
Did you have one?
Yeah.
After the show yesterday?
Yep.
Oh, who
Yep.
was on?
James Tracy made it. He came on to. He called in, and there was some lady named Big Bird that I've talked to before,
Right.
and some guy named Roger, and then there was a caller. But me and Mr. Tracy were talking. It was good, you know. And then I made the biggest mistake where I started directly talking to the NSA and CIA, and within seconds our Skype went out. Everyone's Skype just went out. Right in the middle of me talking to the NSA and CIA.
Well, what'd you say? Let's try it tonight and see if we get cut off.
Oh my! I'm not going to do
Yeah,
it.
here's a test run.
Kind of freaked me out. So I just said, "Come on, guys. You know." I said, "Come on, enough with the nonsense. You know, the psyops aren't working. The false flags or the stage events, they're not working. Play nice. You know, come on, guys. You know, stuff like that." I was just kind of taunting them a little bit.
We lost Mike Gray. Right as he was talking about the NSA. We lost him. Mike, your theory is correct. The NSA.
All right. Very funny.
Now we
I was
know.
racing like a rabbit. Is a hit squad coming?
We know now that the NSA listens to our
We
phone
know
calls.
who you are.
Yeah, they're coming for you, Mike. They're coming to
Hey,
take
Ed,
you
your
away.
birthday's in September?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. You're a Virgo.
Yes, I am.
That explains a lot.
Explains everything. Well, when's your birthday? April Fool's Day?
April Fool.
See,
It might
Mike?
as well be.
See, push me, Mike. Go ahead, push me.
I know Virgos.
Do you really? Well, what is your birthday there, Mike? What is your sign, the astrological zodiac there?
Aquarius.
Ah, the age of Aquarius. Very good.
Yes. One of the bluest signs. Yeah.
So, look, we're just chatting around. If anybody wants to call in, I see some guys here in the chat room. I don't think we have too many listeners right now. If anyone wants to call in, can you watch the show on Skype? No, you cannot watch the show on Skype. No.
No, there's nothing to watch.
Nah. Now, we don't do video because it takes up too much bandwidth. And,
All right.
And tonight...
And plus, this is radio. Come on.
Yeah.
You know. It's radio.
But I do have a TV thing coming up. I got a second edition coming up.
Oh, yeah. How's that going?
Oh, see. We're seeing. They don't have anybody else. I know that. So,
have you... Okay, I don't want to mention if you talk money, but...
no. No. Not yet.
Well, that Epstein case seems to have disappeared pretty much.
From the news, but not from the the lawsuit's still going on, and
Yeah.
favorable with the judge. They're doing good.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're coming up to 8:30. We could keep going on. I tell you what, if we got a phone call, we got some 702-605-4894.
I guess I'm not good enough for Ed. He
No,
doesn't want to talk to me.
You're good enough, Mike, but you're wonderful. I love you, Mike. I love you calling every week. 702-605-4894.
This is how I get my anxiety out.
Is it really?
Well, yeah, because I really can't. All my friends think I'm kind of nuts. When I bring up
Yeah, every one of your
conspiracy
friends,
stuff.
every single friend.
Yeah, oh yeah, pretty much. They
Everyone
they
that knows you, Mike, thinks you're nuts. Okay, let's
They think
move
I'm
on.
a loon.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. What do you think of this Jade Helm thing, where you have Rangers and Navy SEALs and Special Forces conducting in 10 states, especially Texas? They're calling Texas a hostile state, and they're going to be in civilian uniforms and seeing if they could blend in.
What are you talking about? Who's this?
Haven't you heard of this exercise called Jade Helm?
No.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
The U.S. military, yeah.
I've been busy.
Oh, okay.
What about it?
There's a U.S. military exercise called Jade Helm, and it's being conducted in 10 states. Texas is the big one. And for whatever reason, San Diego is... who's that?
We've been joined by...
Well, San Diego is...
San Diego is on the list
military.
as a red area. The entire state of California is blue, but San Diego, for whatever reason, is being targeted. It's basically all the conservative areas are red that are anti-Obama that are being targeted, interestingly enough.
Ah, Obama.
Yeah, and Utah, too.
Really?
The state of Utah, yeah.
610. Who has joined us?
Oh, Marie, and I spoke to you on Facebook, and you said I told you I was kind of nervous to come on a couple days ago.
No, who's this?
Marie.
Marie.
Yeah.
And what did we talk about on Facebook?
I think we were starting to talk about how difficult it is to talk to anybody about your ideas. And I did. This morning I asked you. I am nervous. I asked you who was coming on.
Okay, I remember Marie. Marie's in that group, but one of the
the Weird Seeds.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm on Maury Cherries too.
Okay, very good. Okay. So Marie's all tuned in. She's in one of those Dave McGowan groups with me, and also the Maury Terry group. She's all tuned into the kind of stuff we do. And so, what's going on?
Well, you said something that struck me tonight. You said, are you one of those people who believe in Democrats and Republicans?
Yeah.
And I had an experience when I was in graduate school, and the person I moved into a neighborhood, and the guy that lived across from me, he's gone now, so I can talk about him. And he was the head of the Republican Party, and he was a great guy. And I'm not Republican, but he was a great guy, and he would tell us stories at parties and tell us probably things we shouldn't tell. And one of the congressmen that was teaching one of my classes in Philly found out about him and said, "Oh, tell so-and-so his great friend asked for him." And he's a Democrat. And I started, and the first time I started to think about, because I used to think, I thought they hated each other. And I got home, and I went over to him, and I said, "Hey, so-and-so, Congressman so-and-so said you were his great friend." He said, "Oh, yeah, of course he is." So I said to him, "You know what I think? I don't think there's a difference between Democrats and Republicans. What do you think?" And he didn't say anything, and he just shook his head. He just shook his head, and I knew right at that moment that he was telling me the truth.
Well, yeah. Yeah, let me tell you something. When I had the nightclub, okay, we donated to both parties because you want political favors from both parties, and you want influence with both parties. And the only thing that really, the only difference that there is in the party system is that if a Democrat gets elected, you have patronage jobs that you can hand out to the people that vote for you and work on your campaigns and support you, and contracts that you can hand out to your friends. Or if the Republicans get in, they can hand out to their friends. And that's it. Otherwise, policies comes from above somewhere. They don't care about policy. All they care about is these jobs and these contracts and these deals and stuff.
Well,
Trust me,
that's
guys.
what went on around here. We're like in a little suburb of Philadelphia, and it is so entrenched in here, the Republicans. But then I find out, not really. You know, they're all buddies.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was like a real shock for me because I always thought, oh, the Republicans and the Democrats, and he just looked. All he did was shake his head, and I knew. And he was a huge political man. He knew, the Bushes, and he went to the White House, and he was really something else. It's really incredible guy. And I don't know, it kind of changed me after that.
Yeah, I hear you. And I know people, too, that knew the Bushes and went to the White House and went to the inauguration, stuff like that, too. And the words, big Republican campaign finance director,
He told me a funny story. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, he was standing at the, this was like, I don't know how long ago, he was standing at the voting, for everybody coming to vote, at the polls.
Sure.
And Arlen Specter was on the ticket. And I went up to him and I said, Arlen Specter, and because I knew him real well, so I could joke with him. And I said, you send Arlen Specter to my house and tell him to explain the magic bullet theory, and I'll vote for him. If he can explain it and make sense, I'll vote for him. So he started to laugh, and he says, you know what John Connolly said to me? And honestly, Ed, my stomach started to shake. I couldn't believe he was going to say this to me. He said, and this is like first person.
Yeah.
John Connolly. And I just looked at him like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. And he said, I don't care what anybody says. That bullet that went through Kennedy didn't go through me. And I was stunned. I still can't believe he said that to me. And this was like 6 years ago. Last time Arlen was dead, I think.
Wait, you're saying that a bullet didn't go through him?
He said the same bullet that went through Kennedy did not go through him.
Oh,
that's
so
what he said.
Right, yeah.
Well, I think he said
another
that.
bullet hit him.
Yeah, I think
another bullet. Yeah. I know I'm off the track here, but it's just
no, not at all.
Something that,
I think he said that publicly as well, and I know also too he was quoted as saying in the limousine, "Oh no, they're going to kill us all." So I think Connolly knew what was going to happen. But one thing that blows your mind when you watch the whole JFK thing is when that guy, the cop, the sheriff, the Dallas cop, who's walking Oswald out of the precinct.
With the hat?
Yes, with the big hat. Watch that. He's holding arm in arm with a guy. The guy gets shot. He doesn't flinch. He knew that guy was going to get shot. There's no doubt about that.
Not only him, but if you look, there's a guy by the car.
Yeah.
When the gun goes off, he doesn't flinch either.
Yeah, see? I didn't notice the guy by the car.
And I wonder if there were blanks in that gun.
Yeah. It sure didn't look like it. I've watched that a million times. It's hard. It's really, really difficult for me to watch the motorcade when he gets hit. It's hard to watch, and I have a lot of difficulty watching him get off the plane with Jacqueline and talking to the crowds because it's like it's coming. It's like look how innocent everything was right before that moment, and that was the moment to me when he got off the plane. And he's greeting the crowds. He looks so handsome, and his wife's so beautiful, and they're smiling, and they don't know what's coming. It's just sad. But he said that. He said that bullet didn't hit him. And this gets back to me talking about. I did want to say how hard it is to talk to anybody. Mike, didn't you say that these people think you're crazy? When you talk about this, well, me too. My husband and I decided we're just not going to talk about it anymore. We're just not, because people roll their eyes or say you're crazy, or I'm not going to talk about. I told that story to my sister about John Connolly, and she said to me, "He didn't say that."
Well, I've been telling my good close friends, okay? I don't tell people they do business with or used to. But my good close friends, I tell them and show them stuff on YouTube and I have a few friends that come up to me and go, yeah, you just be right about some of this stuff, Mike. So they're coming around.
Yeah. Very little, though. Very, very little. You can't talk about 9/11. If you talk about 9/11, you're well, as Dave McGowan said, you get belligerent. What does he call it?
No, I keep on them. Listen, you just got to hit them with the facts, and just keep on them. Like just gently saying, look, what about this? What about that? And
Okay, let me tell you guys something. Okay, because back in the 70s, okay, before the internet, before you can post to a link or to show a website or something like that, I was exposed to all this stuff about the Trilateral Commission and the Council on Foreign Relations and stuff. And people never even heard of these things. They said that I made it up, the Council on Foreign Relations.
Yeah.
Okay? They said that I made up the Trilateral Commission. I said, no, look, it's real. You can find the New York Times. Look, I'm finding it. And you had to go back and find a New York Times article, show. So, but the thing is that when you really get your ducks in a row and you stick to the facts, people can't say you're crazy. But when you're going out on a limb on every new whim and every new story that comes along every day and following things with like the wind, like with this conspiracy theory and this plane, Malaysia plane, like so many stories come out that are just totally fake.
Yeah.
Like the story about the guy who was on the Malaysia plane. He took his iPhone, he stuck it up his keister, and then he took it out, took a picture, and he sent it. Oh, it's in Diego Garcia. All nonsense. And it can easily be debunked because, iPhones can't stay charged for 12, 15 hours. It can't, 24 hours, It's just nonsense.
Oh, you mean, I'm sorry, you're saying that they call their families.
No, I'm saying that in the Malaysia plane, they said that it landed at Diego Garcia, and they were all taken prisoner.
Yeah, that was speculation. Yeah, and that a guy, hit a phone,
right,
and then he texted something, but there was no picture,
right, and he sent it to a website where you can go on. And he didn't text it to his wife or his kids or anybody, or his lawyer. He sends it to a website that you can log on anonymously, right? But now let me ask you this: now who promoted that story? Who initiated?
Sean David Morton.
No, before Sean David Morton.
Oh, Jim Stone, right?
Right, Jim Stone, the guy who's behind this whole thing with Fukushima. Fukushima was created by the Israelis, and there's radiation over there. I had a guy that was right there on the scene with a radiation film badge dosimeter, no measurable radiation, right there, 10 miles away. But people are telling me that the whole Pacific Ocean is dead. Okay, there's not a fish left in it. All the sardines are dead. You can't buy sardines anymore. I can go to the supermarket right now and buy sardines. Okay? So all this stuff about it's nonsense. And by the same guy that... What?
I'm sorry.
It's like you don't know what to believe. Like they say there's a trash thing the size of the state of Texas in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yeah, that's real.
All the plastic.
There's pictures.
Is that real? I mean, is it the same? You don't know what to believe
that
anymore.
Big swirl of plastic.
Yeah, that there's a big swirl of plastic and trash in the middle of the Pacific, and it's the size of Texas.
I don't know if it's the size of
Is
Texas.
Is it true, though? Is it true?
Yeah, but I'm sure it's huge. I'm sure there's huge trash piles all over the place, man.
Yeah, I mean, send the ship there with a net and just pick it up. Back and forth, back and forth.
And send it where?
To your house.
Okay, thank you.
You'll sign for it, right, Ed?
Recycle it.
Send it to China.
Okay.
They'll take it.
Okay.
Send it to North Korea. I don't know.
But my point is, okay, here's this guy Stone promoting this bogus story, okay? And where do we get all this Fukushima stuff from? From Stone. It originated from Stone. Then
Rents too. Jim Rents covers a lot.
And Kerry Cassidy took it and promoted it all over the freaking world, And what I'm telling you guys is that there's a lot of crap out there. You got to double down your skepticism. You can't tell me.
Yeah.
You can't tell me, okay, as a guy that went tuna fishing, okay, many, many times in my life, you know, like I'm talking about like 150, 200 times, I've gone out on a boat tuna fishing, okay, on the East Coast, you know, on the Jersey Shore, and that tuna in Fukushima is going to swim through radiation in Fukushima, swim 5,000 miles to the California coast, survive, not die, and I'm going to eat that fish and die from it.
Right.
The fish lived. The fish made it 5,000 miles. I can't swim 5,000 miles. You know, I can't.
Those are extraordinary fish there, Ed.
I can't walk 5,000 miles. I can't ride a bike 5,000. But this tuna swam
5,000.
Well, no. First he got radiated. First he got, and plus two. Japan had 2 nuclear bombs dropped on them. We dropped 2 bombs on them, okay? And they've recovered. They're okay now. You know what I mean? If Fukushima is so deadly, and so, why aren't there dead bodies lying in the street in Fukushima? Why aren't all the fish washed up on the shore in Fukushima?
Yeah.
Every day, tourists from Japan come to Las Vegas. Every single one of them has a camera. They all have cameras.
Yeah. Well, the Japanese, yeah.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I can testify in court. They got cameras. If they were in Japan yesterday and took a picture of 1,000 dead fish on the beach in front of Fukushima and came here, they would show me the picture. But they don't.
Right.
Because it's not happening. Okay? Let's face it.
Well, that's good news.
It is good news. It's great news. I'm going through Fresh and Easy. By the way, Fresh and Easy is a great place, and I would love to have them as a sponsor. Okay, because I eat at Fresh and Easy every day. Okay.
Fish.
Yes. And there's a guy there at the frozen seafood section. And he says, don't eat any fish. All seafood is contaminated by radiation because of Fukushima. Okay, are you kidding me?
I had salmon just the other day, and it was delicious.
Right, this farm grown fish, this tuna fish, it's insane. Another person tells me, don't eat any sushi because tuna fish in Japan have the tuna in Japan are radiated by Fukushima. So that means with a tuna in a can is okay. I can eat tuna in a can. Okay, because somehow, but that's
got mercury in it, you know.
But tuna that's cooked with a Japanese recipe because it's in Japan. You know, how does that work? A tuna from Japan comes here and only goes to Japanese food. It's insane. The logic is insane. You know.
Yeah.
So we need to really dial back, take a huge step back on all this nonsense, man. And these people who we know, by the way, are hoaxes, man, and can tell you, you know, a lot of these people are just.
Well, I liked what Ann said earlier. You when you finally know something, you can't unknow it. I said that. I think I said those same words like a month ago. When you know something, you can't unknow it.
Well, it's true.
So all this
and
stuff
here's the thing,
that I've been reading about and for years now, and with no one to talk to, except my husband, who, you know, he's into it a little bit, but not like I am. But you can't unknow it. You see it everywhere.
I'd like to say to Murray that,
like I said, it's hard to talk.
Murray, you're tuned into some good stuff. Dave McGowan is a legitimate researcher, you know.
Yeah.
And so
I think so too.
Maury Terry and that group in there.
Yeah, Maury Terry.
Yeah, these are legitimate.
Nick Bryant. I think Nick Bryant's sincere.
I like Nick Bryant too. Yeah, I like him very much, and I think he's onto some really good stuff. And I think when the problem comes is when you start hearing, well, all we have to do is raise our vibrational frequencies and bite this pillow and close our eyes and pretend nothing's happening because we're winning.
Wait a minute, Nick said that?
No, not Nick. No, Nick's okay.
But
I'm saying that a lot of these guys out there.
Talking about others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was really into that, listening to it, because I couldn't wait for you to talk to Nick Bryant, and you seemed to be asking him to name names, and he didn't seem like he didn't want to, And he was kind of pushing back, and then he started saying that he's tired of these people that bring up shape-shifting reptilians and Illuminati. And I thought, but if you read his book, he says that people don't get it because it's just so far out of their comfort zone and their own lives. Normally, most people. But if you do bring in those people, if you do say, I don't know, I forget who. Nobody knows who Lawrence King is, but if you do bring in people and say their names, people suddenly get interested, and then they do look at it. And I did see that he didn't seem to want to talk about it too much. Like he said, he didn't want to mention names, and he didn't, But I think it's a good thing to do that. If he's in the position to do it.
Okay, let's go on this with the Hunter S. Thompson thing, right?
Oh, yes.
If you look
at you right down.
Right. And if you look at the people that Hunter S. Thompson is associated with in the public, one is Johnny Depp.
John Cusack.
Cusack.
Johnny Depp.
Don Johnson.
Uh-huh.
These are all people that are involved with the West Memphis 3 cult, all kinds of connections. I cannot see any way that the allegation... And Hunter S. Thompson knew stuff. He knew stuff about auctions here in Las Vegas at private airstrips.
Yeah.
That...
I think all these people, when they get to a certain level, they know things. I don't know if they can do anything about it, but I think they know things.
Did you see that movie?
Because of their entree. It's because their entree into a different level. Do you think?
Did you see that movie with Sissy Spacek and Lee Marvin?
Which one? Oh, yeah, I think I know which one.
With Gene Hackman. Sissy, I can't remember, but basically they were auctioning off these women and this cattle.
No, I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, in that movie, I can't remember what it's called. Lee Marvin, Gene Hackman, and Sissy Spacek. It's an older movie from the 70s, where they had these women. They were naked in where they would put the pigs or the cows, and auction them off. And they were auctioning off women. And they would drug them. Yeah, that was in a movie.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Sounds like Taken.
Gene Hackman.
I didn't see.
Yeah, Sissy Spacek seems to be tuned into a lot of stuff too, as well, and seems to fall into a lot.
They all are.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Who? What?
Sissy Spacek.
Sissy Spacek. Yeah, she was in Carrie and Coal Miner's Daughter.
She was in JFK too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And The Ring. The Ring too.
Oh, really?
She was in The Ring.
She's the mother of the little girl.
Oh, okay.
And they never get into who the father was.
No.
Remember they go to she's in a nut house to talk to the little girl's mom that was thrown down the well.
Oh, yeah.
And she's the mother. Sissy Spacek is the mother of the little girl.
You're right. I totally forgot
and they're
that.
like, well, who's the father? And she wouldn't say who the father was.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you look at these cases like Manson and Lee Harvey Oswald, the father is always a mystery. He's always a...
Right.
There's no father.
Oh, hey, you know what an interesting movie would be to watch again? The Omen 3.
The Omen 3?
The Omen 3, yeah, because the Antichrist, who's played by that guy who was in Jurassic Park, it's the subtext, the second story is he runs a company like Monsanto.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
They play it on TV a lot.
One of the few scary movies.
And that movie's from 1983.
Right.
One of the few scary movies.
The Omen?
The Omen, Rosemary's Baby,
Exorcist.
The Manchurian Candidate, even though it wasn't really a scary movie. The old Manchurian Candidate.
Mm-hmm. The original one.
The one from '62 with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a scary one. Not spooky, but scary.
It's all for you, Damien.
The girl who I took a job interview once with a girl who dated Frank Sinatra when she was either 14 or 15, when she was dating Frank Sinatra out in the open, and was oh yeah, and was passed back and forth between Frank Sinatra and some mafia guy. And she lives here in Vegas. I'm trying to get her to come on the show. She wrote a book, and but I tell you, man, and there's pictures of them together. This is not like
that guy got more, had more women than I don't know.
Well, and if I've heard some other stories too.
More
they all
girls.
love, and they all love
That's
them.
not a woman.
No, that's not a woman, right? And also, too, a lot of these girls he was with were prostitutes that he would abuse. Okay, I heard a story where he had a prostitute one night, and he ate his breakfast, a steak and eggs, off her chest or her back with a knife and fork. Okay, this is a sick guy. Frank Sinatra Frank Sinatra was a sick guy. Who never wore the same pair of underwear twice. He would just,
hey, cuckoo baby.
just take his underwear off and walk out of it. And the other guy, too, Sammy Davis Jr., was another sick guy.
Yeah. I wondered if some of those stories were true. Let's say, how he would. I've heard this from the 70s. He joined the
Church of Satan. He was part of the Church of Satan. Yeah, Anton LaVey. There's pictures of them together. There's no doubt about that. But also, too, there's Chuck Traynor, the pimp and husband and boyfriend of Linda Lovelace, said that Sammy Davis Jr. gave him oral sex, and that he passed the polygraph, and Sammy Davis Jr. never denied it. And that falls into line with some of the stories I've heard about Sammy Davis Jr. with the whole thing with Sinatra and these girls and stuff, and what was going on there. And my guest next week... Oh, no. Oh, wait a second.
Is that how he lost his eye?
And we have another guest coming up with the Marilyn Monroe.
It was a car accident.
Yeah, May 1st, we have a whole guest coming on about Marilyn Monroe and the death of Marilyn Monroe, and about how...
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and that's going to be a big show.
That should be great.
Yes, and next week we have Princess Di, the murder of Princess Di, and we're also trying to get a hold of Muhammad El-Fayed, the father.
Oh, the father?
Yeah, of Dodi Fayed. We're working on a lot of stuff, guys, but we need donations. We need money to do this, man. So if you can hit us up at Opperman Report.
I donated. I donated.
I know, Marie. I know. You're the best. We love you.
Oh, okay. But
I'm talking to the audience. People are listening to us. I don't hope you realize that people are listening.
I guess I shouldn't have said it, but I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We got a few listeners listening, and even though tonight was such a mess.
I want people to know. I want people to send their money in. This is a great show. Last week I was laughing out loud. I was laying. I felt like I was in a living room with you guys. It was just you and Mike, and you were talking about shampoo and rugs. And I wasn't laughing at you. I was just getting the biggest kick out of it.
What were we talking about?
Shampoo and rugs.
You ran out of stuff to talk about. You were talking about rugs, and I thought, I think they need a phone call. But I didn't say to call. And I got a pen out, and I'm writing the formula down, because you gave the formula.
It works really good. The formula, if you just Google it.
You said what? Oxy powder, a little oxy powder, and
Tide.
A little bit of Tide, yeah. But you don't have to use Tide. You can use the dollar store.
That's a dollar store.
Yeah, the whole thing's like $3, and you can get like gallons of this stuff. It works great.
Yeah, but you only need a little bit to mix it in warm water.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
You could put a little Tide, just a little Tide.
Yeah.
Bucket of warm water.
I got a little Tide.
Get that oxy powder, or even baking soda, a little bit of baking soda, and just put it in the carpet and then vacuum it. But the best thing is to steam clean your carpets.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Well, Mike's an expert on this kind of stuff.
I used to clean carpets. That's true. I did it for 4 miserable months.
People in the chat room are laughing at Mike's comment about it. Is that how he lost his eyes, Sammy Davis Jr.? But we're going to be talking about...
Oh, yeah.
These guys, listen...
He got beat up. Didn't he get beat up by...
No, it was a car accident. But the thing is that with the Marilyn Monroe death, okay, and this conspiracy, you know what? I'm going to take a little break right now. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll get back to the Marilyn Monroe conspiracy and how Geraldo Rivera fits into this.
And Sarah White.
We'll be back right after these messages with more shampoo recipes, one-eyed Negroes, oral sex, and Marilyn Monroe and Geraldo and all that kind of information. Back right after this with more of the Opperman Report brought to you by Audible.com. Hey, go to audibletrial.com/Opperman Report and do nothing. Don't send me any money. Don't do anything for me at all to support the show. Thank you very much. And now a word from our sponsors. We are listener-sponsored, and we appreciate your donations. If you like the show, please visit OppermanReport.com and click on the donate button. Or you can donate directly through PayPal at OppermanReport@gmail.com. We have Mike Ray of InfinityHomeplans.com. He's the host of Parlay over at CJ Mars Radio, Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need custom home designs, stock plans, or 3D work, he's your one-stop shop for home design and drafting needs. Mike Gray at InfinityHomeplans.com. If you're looking for essential oils, stop by and check out Essentially Tammy on Facebook. She is Young Living Essential Oils Independent Distributor. Now, these are 100% therapeutic grade oils. They help support the body's natural functions. You can visit her website posted on Essentially Tammy to see the current deals, or email at JockoTammy, JOCATAMI @yahoo.com, or call 352-239-8546. 352-239-8546. Hey, if you need a private investigator, go to my website, emailrevealer.com. We offer asset searches, locates, skip tracing, adoption investigations, online infidelity investigations. We can recover deleted text messages from a cell phone or trace an email to online dating websites to catch people cheating. That's emailrevealer.com, or you can call 800-572-9762. 800-572-9762 for emailrevealer.com, my website. Pacific West Bamboo. It's your premier source for construction and craft-grade bamboo poles. They're announcing their latest project with EcoHead Event Sanitation, making bamboo composting bathrooms and porta potties. Their first display will be at the Lucidity Festival in Santa Ynez, California, April 11th to the 13th. Come by and say hi and see what you can build with bamboo. Contact them for any kind of event planning, display building. If you need construction grade or craft grade bamboo products, call Amanda at 503-839-8126, 503-839-8126, or visit PacificWestBamboo.com, their brand new website. We're also sponsored by the New World Mexican Women. This is a rural Mexican craft women's cooperative. They are traditional makers of fine handcrafted, authentic jewelry. They use beautiful stone mosaics and Pacific blue Abilene inlay. They have a wonderful book of love letters written to their men in the United States, begging them to return to their families in Mexico. But they've written a new book, and it's it's about a young girl that falls in love with a rodeo bull rider and runs off with him without telling her family. It's a beautiful love story called Azucena Part 1, Azucena to the Rodeo. You can find their books and jewelry by clicking on their banner ad at OppermanReport.com or by Googling New World Mexican Women. You can also promote your business or website right here and have your ad played all over the world 7 days a week by emailing OppermanReport@gmail.com or calling 800-572-9762. Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. And the show's brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/Opperman Report and get yourself a free audiobook. Now, we were talking about the death of Marilyn Monroe. Now, here's something that's very interesting to me. Geraldo Rivera. I never met Geraldo Rivera, but no. But he was in the 70s back in New York City. He was part of a gang called the Young Lords. Also part of this gang was Felipe Luciano. I met him several times. And Pablo Guzman. And all three of these guys from this gang went on to careers in the media. You know, I guess the news back at that time were looking for representatives of the Latin community, and they hired these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was just very interesting how these guys... And by the way, Geraldo Rivera is a lawyer, but his legal career, he was an anti-poverty lawyer. Okay? Yeah. Whatever the hell that is, okay? He was pretty much but these three guys are really spokespersons for the Young Lords, this gang, you know, that evolved into the Latin Kings, the Imperial Latin Kings, which was a notorious gang back in New York City back in the 80s and the 90s. But the Young Lords was this activist. They were kind of like the Black Panthers, you know, the Hispanic version of the Black Panthers. So Geraldo Rivera comes out of this. He becomes a spokesman. He gets hired by ABC News. Felipe Luciano, he gets hired by WBLS, the radio station. Pablo Guzman, he gets hired by different stations, you know, in New York City. They all get into the media out of this gang. Now, Geraldo Rivera loses his job. I think it was on... he got famous because he did that thing with Willowbrook. Okay?
Yes.
So then he's at... I think it was Nightline or 2020 ABC, some kind of... magazine type show, and the reason why he quit that show is because he wanted to do a show about the death of Marilyn Monroe. That show's never aired. He's never come out and said who killed Marilyn Monroe, but the gist.
So you found out?
Oh yes, that's what I think. I think he found out who killed Marilyn Monroe. I think he has that evidence in his possession. I think it was the Kennedys. My guest is coming up says it was RFK who killed Marilyn Monroe physically. Okay? Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of evidence about this, by the way, too. There was a PI that did a lot of investigation on this, and the ambulance stopped, you know, and it was rocking. There's a lot of stuff that went on in the Marilyn Monroe. They definitely went to the house and cleaned up.
Rocking, you say?
Yes.
What does that mean? Like, in the ambulance, they killed her in the ambulance?
I think they finished her off in the ambulance, yeah.
Because they said she would take physics, right? Like, enemas?
Yeah.
And they said there was like some type of blue substance, almost like an ink or a purplish blue ink on her bottom.
Really?
And they didn't know what that was.
I had heard that's how they did the final. They injected it there.
Yeah, they gave her a bad enema.
Yeah. That's what I heard. That's what I've been reading.
Well, and I would think it was not so much RFK or JFK, but their handlers. And because supposedly supposedly she said she knew about certain stuff and she was going to go to the press about things. That she'd found out from Pillow Talk.
Yeah.
Right.
And she, they say she had a very high IQ.
Well, yeah, I think she was smart.
Really?
I don't know why anybody would threaten somebody with it. You'd think they just do it. Just do it.
And remember who did the autopsy? Who did the autopsy? Sarah White, their go-to guy.
But now, wait, one more thing, too, is I believe that Marilyn Monroe came out of an orphanage. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she had a mom who was unstable, and she put her in a home, and then her aunt, I believe, got her out.
Okay, do you know that orphanage is connected to the Black Dahlia case as well?
The orphanage?
Yes.
No, what?
I think it was either right next door
to
where Black Dahlia grew up, okay, or they both came out of the same orphanage, but there's a connection there for sure. And as all kinds of...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but okay, but the thing is, I wanted to get out to Geraldo Rivera, who came from the Bronx, just like I did, from a street gang in the Bronx, just like I did, okay, and somehow got this media deal out of it, so just like I did. But the thing is, too, is that when he quit ABC, when he came back to the media, because he was out of the media for quite a while, he came back owning a newspaper, owning an island in Puerto Rico, having a private do you know do you guys know that Geraldo Rivera owns a helicopter and goes to work every day in a helicopter? He owns a private island in Puerto Rico. He owns at least one newspaper, production companies. Donald Trump's kissing his butt all over The Apprentice, you know.
And you think?
And now he's on Fox News.
You
Right.
think, Ed, it's because he knows about Maryland?
Yes, I believe with all my heart that he got some inside juice, inside information, and he's played it close to the vest up until today. Because he doesn't talk. That's the reason why he got fired, you know, because of that show on Marilyn Monroe, and that's how he got rich. Because he came back rich. I went to a couple of tapings too of his show when he did that talk show, and that was kind of odd too. It was kind of a little weird because what they would start before the show started, there would be a bunch of empty seats, you know, and then they would bring in a bunch of models, like 10 models, who would come in and be placed in the audience, you know, and he would go over and he knew all these girls, he knew them all.
Strange.
Yeah, very strange.
Well, remember, you know, didn't he marry Kurt Vonnegut's daughter?
Oh, I don't know
Who's
about
that famous writer?
What? I
Didn't he
didn't know
marry
that.
Kurt Vonnegut's daughter?
He's married like 7
Okay,
times. He's been married 7 times.
Yeah, but one of them was Kurt. I think the second or third one was Kurt Vonnegut's daughter, right? And then when he admitted he cheated on her, Kurt Vonnegut said he wanted to kill, you know, basically beat him up.
That's interesting because Vonnegut has a connection too
You
to Mia
blame him?
Farrow.
I'm sorry, what?
Vonnegut has a connection to Mia Farrow as well.
To who?
With Maryland?
How?
Mia Farrow.
Oh, Mia Farrow. I don't know.
Farrow.
I think they have a kid
How?
together.
Oh, they do? I didn't know that.
What?
I don't know. I'd have to look
I
it up.
didn't know
Well,
I didn't know
Well,
that.
here's a little side thing. Ronan Farrow, you know who he is?
Yeah, the
Her
son.
son?
Yeah.
That's Frank Sinatra's. I think.
If that's not Frank Sinatra's son,
Yeah,
I don't know who
that
it
is
He's
Frank
certainly not
Sinatra's son.
Woody
They had an
Allen.
affair. Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks just like him. It's amazing, and they say he's
Poor
brilliant.
man.
Well, he's got his own show.
Not anymore. They took it away from him because it was awful.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm looking up Kurt Vonnegut to see.
You know, it's interesting that
Oh no, Geraldo.
because that Sinatra would stand by, and all Sinatra's people would stand by while his kids were getting molested by Woody Allen. You know?
Sinatra didn't have a kid with the.
I thought you said Ronan was his son.
Yeah, well, they think that. Yeah,
With
Okay.
Mia.
yeah, with Mia. Yeah, because she never said who the father
Well,
was,
do you
and
think he just cut
he
ties?
has her last name. Well,
Did
no,
Sinatra
they
ever claim him? You know?
no,
Did
they
he
never
ever
claimed them, but
stand up
they
and-
but
yeah.
supposedly like Nancy Sinatra treats him like she's his, you know, their brother and sister, and he's always been a part of the Sinatra family, what's left of it, you know.
Well, Sinatra, if you read the book about him, the autobiography by that woman, I forget her name right now, but
Kitty Kelly.
Katie Kelly, yeah.
Oh, Kitty Kelly hated her guts.
Yeah, Sinatra, there's so much dirt in his background. How he got away with all this stuff is beyond me. You know?
The mob, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
My mother
connected.
worshiped him. We had a portrait of him in our house.
What do you think? Like
She
all that
loves
Rat
him.
Pack, you know, all that Rat Pack stuff is they were, the mob told them, hey, you do these shows, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Yeah, there's all kinds of pictures with him with all kinds of big wise guys and stuff like that for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Pay off your debt to us, you know.
So
Because
I looked
remember
up-
that. Remember, it's Sinatra is in The Godfather. He's
Yeah.
the one that went to the mob boss to get in From Here to Eternity. He's
Right.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, Johnny. That's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
It was Godfather, please, this part. It'd be perfect for me. I wouldn't even have to act.
That was Al Martino. He lived down. I found out right after he died. He lived down the street from it until he died.
Who?
My mother loved him too. I'm looking up Geraldo. Oh, geez. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wives.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Geraldo Rivera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Edith Vonnegut was
Yes.
one of them.
Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut's daughter. Correct.
Now, was Vonnegut connected to Mia Farrow?
No, I never heard that. I never heard that.
Who was the guy? Andre Previn, maybe. Someone. All those foreign names are the same to me.
Andre Previn was Mia Farrow.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of then. Okay.
Yeah.
Andre Previn, the director?
He was a musical director. Andre Previn.
Oh.
I think. Yeah, he was a musical director.
I thought you meant Otto Preminger. Forget it. Never mind.
Oh, Otto Preminger.
He had all sorts
I think he was a little old. I know you have to get off it soon. I did want to ask you a couple of things.
Shoot.
You said, both of you guys last week said something about, you don't know how you felt about Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
And I don't either. And I don't know what it is that I want to believe him. I want to like him. Something's not right.
Well, he was in the military, and he was with the
SEALs?
wrestling.
Yeah.
He was never a SEAL. He was a frogman.
Okay.
He was a
Demolition.
frogman,
right. Okay.
But then they elevated their titles too.
But you see Jesse Ventura in he's wearing a mask, a black mask, going to one of those Hollywood parties. You know what I mean?
No.
So he kind of plays himself like he's an outsider, but he's a total insider. And he was governor. He was governor of Minnesota.
Yeah.